walk what I'm calling a Dallas Cowboys corridor. As you can tell, we are at a Cowboys home game. Yes, I understand that we are in Los Angeles, Inglewood, technically SoFi Stadium, but this is basically AT&T West. So follow me this way. We're gonna see if we can find a couple of fans. We are infiltrating enemy territory. The Cowboy fans are doing it right. We got the signage, we got the great food, we got the inflatables. Thoughts on today's game?
We're gonna beat the shit out of them.
Woo! You see this right here? How do you feel about today's game?
We better win, that's all I know.
How do you feel about Dak Prescott after last week's performance?
Dak Prescott has been very consistent with the division. He has took us back-to-back 12-5 seasons. You know what I mean? His winning record is above. You can say what you want about the past 7 years, but on our division, he has been owning it for years.
Are you a Dak rider or are you a Dak hater?
Before he broke his finger, I was a rider. Now, nah. They need to let him go now.
You know Dak Prescott's watching this right now, right? Actually follows the Can Fan podcast.
Wait.
Go!
Let's go, baby! Cowboys Nation, son! Let's go! Cowboys Nation represent! Cowboys Nation represent! Let's go! Get out of here!
Crack him if you got him.
Crack him if you got him, son. All day, every day.
Crack him if you got him, Seattle.
Here we are at Lumen Field. And is that a Harry Potter reference? Maybe. I don't know. I've casted a lot of Lumen spells.
Lumen videos.
We want to see Deuce represent. We want to see him repeat. I want some repeats. And I don't need 3 beats if they repeat.
I don't need 3 beats.
I don't need
if
3
they
beats.
repeat.
If they repeat. Let's go.
You don't think we're gonna make the postseason?
Maybe wild card.
So this is
Maybe wild card.
This is where I'm like, I'm good for a good ribbing, but like to say we're not gonna make the postseason, now I can't even argue with you because you've oh god.
You know it too. You know it.
Who's your quarterback?
Fucking we got him.
This is our year.
Look at those dudes. Look at those dudes. Look at those dudes. Look at those dudes. Let's go!
Let's go, Cowboys! Let's go, baby!
Cowboys Nation showing up!
Most pristine athletes in modern history playing in the NFL. Even the offensive linemen are incredibly athletic. I mean, these guys are over 300 pounds and, you know, they can
Not only the size, but the speed of the linemen? Are you kidding
fly
me?
on the field.
You're telling me a guy that's 330 pounds meant to block a guy that's 290 pounds is faster than me, a sporty 240?
High 240. High 240. High 240.
I could beat any one of those guys right now, and I've drank a 6-pack.
What? You're wearing Crocs!
My 40 time is better than any of them.
Erroneous! Erroneous!
Erroneous!
Erroneous on all accounts!
I've never been more sure of anything in my life.
How'd I do?
13-5.
Final quarter, here we go, baby!
CD for the CD, baby!
And I'm going for 2.
Woo!
I don't know why my safety was just playing off so far.
Tackle him!
Yeah, well, I might be a boomer, but you sound like a pipsqueak. You don't even know how old I am.
No!
You little shit. You didn't win the game, I lost it!
Make sure you know where he is, because he understands how to
Call
get
that a
open
throw?
in key situations.
I might be old, but at least I don't still piss my pants.
Protect you and your loved ones with Crackem VPN.
Ever heard the game Marry, Kill? Okay, like, yeah, I'm gonna give you 3 people, and you're gonna decide who will you marry, who will you who will you kill?
Okay.
Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott, and Tony Romo.
Marry Jerry. He's got all the monies. Probably Tony. Dak Prescott. Gotta kill him.
I'm a Romo.
She's gonna with Romo.
I'm a marry Dak.
She's gonna marry Dak.
I'm a kill Jones.
She's gonna kill Jerry Jones. Who will you marry, kill between Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott, and then Tony Romo?
I'm out.
Jerry Jones, you.
So Jerry?
Jerry Jones, you.
Okay.
You.
Who will you marry, Dak Prescott or Tony Romo?
Tony Romo.
Tony Romo.
So that means you would kill Dak?
Yes.
Marry Dak, kill Jerry Jones,
Jerry Jones, poor Jerry.
Tony Romo.
Why not? He's probably one of the best commentators, announcers on the game right now.
Tony Romo? That's mine. That's mine.
Jerry Jones, right now. Right now.
You heard it here, guys. You heard it.
We need trash can.
Yeah!
I never know what to do with my hands.
Zagamaboosh, baby! Zagamaboosh, baby!
Hey man, we're back. We back, baby!
Wednesday night main event.
We are back, baby. We are back. And you know what? I watch you. I get more respect for you the more I sit back here, because usually I'm over there just dancing and drinking, so I don't really see. But you're over here and you're moving and you're shaking. Not only are you moving and shaking, you're hitting dials, you're hitting buttons. Like this shit, it looks like we're flying an airplane back here.
I'm a technical performer. Look, this is a shot of the studio.
There's so much shit going on. I mean, I'm still just back here drinking and watching you do it, but I'm impressed. I'm more impressed on this side than over there when I'm on the couch. I'll say that. I will give you your flowers.
Thank you for.
That's all you're getting today, though. That's your one. But we have some flowers to give to any Can Fan maniac out there listening. We actually have he started off as a giant Can Fan maniac, and he just burrowed his way into our hearts and our souls.
I like that you use the word Burrow, not Joe Burrow.
Not Joe Burrow. I mean, like a mole.
He just he was a ride or die day one.
Day one, literally day one, when we had 2 people watching, and it was probably me. I was probably one of the people on the phone.
You were one of them. I was one of them,
and then Boots.
And then Boots was one of them.
And no, I mean, that's a good introduction right there. Let's bring him in. Bot G, boots on the ground. Eric, what is up, my friend?
I don't even know what to do with my hands either. I'm over here like, do I do one of these? Do I come in with a? I don't know.
Ad's got Stat Boy beside you still.
Well, yeah, because AJ just came on.
Oh, AJ's in now?
Yeah, he's in now.
Oh shit, we got AJ.
Where?
Wow, we got Boots and AJ.
I know, and he was already. I let him in before we did the intro, so it kind of took a little bit away from Botji. But give us that flex there,
Botji. Let's see the flex. There he is, rocking that sweet Color Rush number 4.
And you know what? You bought? Did you buy that when you were down? Oh gosh, there's Stat Boy.
I've been wearing it every day since.
I like it.
There he is. There he is.
But we got Stat Boy and Bot G Eric. I mean, Stat Boy doesn't need no introduction. But guys, what is up? Wednesday night main event on the Can Fan Show. We got a bunch of off-season stuff to talk about. Boots, it's been a minute. We tried to get you on a bit ago. Ad was in Mexico. AJ's in Thailand. I'm the only loser who doesn't leave. I'm the only guy that stays in Canada. But I'm glad to have you on the show, buddy.
You're a national treasure up in Canada, and a Canadian sex symbol. So someone's gotta stay home and hold it down.
Sex symbol, I don't know.
Stat Boy out there.
I don't know. Stat Boy, AJ, how you doing? Where are you right now? You look like you're in a mine.
Well, it's just early a.m. over here, 9 a.m. I am in Ao Nong in Krabi province.
Sounds like you're making up stuff.
I know. Here's it's called Ao. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right, but phonetically it's Ao Nong or Nang.
Okay, what planet is that on?
10th planet, baby. 10th planet jiu-jitsu, vape 10th planet. Here's the thing. I went to 7-Eleven to buy early morning brews.
There you go.
They don't start selling till 11. But the trick is, because it's like legally you're not allowed to start selling liquor till 11. They have like these cutoff times, right? Much like, any sane country does. But so the trick is you just go to one of the small eateries that just don't give a shit, and they'll sell you beer at 9, 8 a.m. They don't really care.
So you bought off sales from some. Oh, there it is. Crack them if you got them.
Get the Chang, son.
Grab yourself a Chang, son.
Grab yourself a Chang.
Grab yourself a Chang.
Follow AJ for more travel hacks.
AJ, I will say this: you sound sick. Or it sounds like you've been doing cocaine.
AJ was messaging. So AJ and I work together in the real world as well as the
IRL
content world. And he's messaging in one of our client channels that we're talking about with the team. And he's like, and then he messages me. He's like, okay, I got to go to bed. It's 4 a.m. It's like, he's out there fucking partying, but also holding down the working for it.
Impressed.
I'm impressed.
No,
and he sounds sick.
I think a little bit from the AC, it like stuffs me up, but no partying last night because we did like an epic climb up this
I saw that
1,261 step, 309 vertical meter temple, which in hindsight probably, I mean, of course now that I did it, I would have done it, but had I known the exertion that it would have caused.
But you got a nice little vacay, or I don't know, call it vacay when you're there for over 2.5 months and you're still working like that. You got a nice workout in there.
Oh yeah. The legs are barking. Let me tell you.
The legs are barking. Well, hey, I have someone else that's barking. So we've been hearing about Jerry Jones going all in, right, guys?
Yeah.
Well, I hate to tell you guys, but we got a little guy named Batson, Stephen Jones, who's been going a little bit viral, trying to rain on everybody's parade. And we got a little spicy clip of this fuck raining on my parade. So let's kick it over to Batson and let's hear what he has to say about old daddy and going all in.
God, he looks older than Jerry.
Before we jump into it, Boots, remember how I said he looked old as fuck? He looks old as fuck, doesn't he?
Now I cannot see it.
That's Michael Keaton. That's Batson.
It's like Michael Keaton as a 6-year-old who's playing a 92-year-old.
It's like if Michael Keaton fucked an avocado.
It's like if Michael Keaton was trying to play Benjamin Button.
Yeah.
It's like if Michael Keaton had to go into witness protection.
Goddamn,
I will
billionaire.
say he looked like he lost a little bit of weight there.
He does look like, and sometimes that makes you look older if you lose weight. Like right now, I've lost about 5 to 10 pounds. I went from looking 35 to 92. I hate it. But let's see what Batson has to say about Jerry Jones going all in. And let's make sure I got the sound turned up, and let's listen.
Yeah.
Is there a shift in how you guys are thinking?
I've never known Jerry not to be all in any given year, but certainly,
Fucking sounds like Biden there.
I think a great team put together. I think the last 3 years won a lot of football games. I think 36, and certainly where we have to improve is the postseason. We're going to get the right kind of guys who step up and make big plays in the postseason. And
what the?
Here's the
oh shit! We got an ad.
Don't you have
no? We even want you. To
this is yours. This is your computer.
In terms of our success there, and that's where we have to improve.
Are there any answers that you guys have kind of come up with?
We're taking a holistic view of this thing, and we'll continue to look at it. Obviously, being here at the Combine is going to be, a great time to spend some time in terms of looking not only at the young players that are going to be out there, but just spending time, together internally, spending a lot of time talking about.
Okay, so to me, it just sounds like a lot of sidestepping a question. Like he was asked, "Are you guys all in?" And then he just continued to say, "Well, I've never known Jerry to not be all in." Well, I'll tell you, Stephen Jones, he wasn't all in last year. The time you're winning these 36 games that you just brought up, if you're telling me the last 3 seasons the Cowboys were all in during those seasons, I would call you a bullshit liar. What do you guys think? Like, he's like, oh, Jerry's always all in. No, They haven't been all in the last 3 years, and his answer's making me feel like they're not going to be all in this year.
Facts.
I think he's the perfect politician. He's the guy that rails in Jerry Jones because he's all over the place. He's trying to create drama and excitement. And Stephen Jones is the businessman. He's just coming out there. I mean, he's not going to go and tell everybody what he plans to do. Of course, we're all in every year, but he's not going to come out and say, "Hey, we're about to spend, $15 million on Derrick Henry," so that some other teams are going to be like, "Oh, did you hear the Cowboys? They're going to offer $15 million. Oh, we should offer him $16 million." And then you're just kind of like, outbidding yourself there per se. So I mean, that's all that is. They're not going to give you any answers, or at least he's not. He's the business guy.
Look at his face right now. What is he looking at?
Yeah, Cowboy Reg says, "I'm 53. Steven is 59. Why does he look older than my 81-year-old father?"
Oh, shit.
And you know what? We skip right over it. What up, chat?
What
Everybody
up,
in
chat? Can Phantomaniacs in the hizzy?
Yeah. Kilo C says Bruce Wayne lives in Texas now? Question mark.
AJ, what do you think about his dog fuck answer of just like, I get what Boots is saying. Of course, he is the politician. He's going to say what you kind of want to hear and then go away from it a bit without answering anything. But it's like, we've heard this song and dance forever. But what he just said in the few paragraphs, what did you think about it?
I mean, I really hope Boots is right in that there's like this logical way of saying a bunch of things, but they're saying a bunch of things without really saying anything to kind of just hide what they might do. But then I also agree with you, Ant, where it's like, okay, so that just brings me right back to being like, expectations are the same as they have always been. Here's what I still am not clear on what all in means. And I think it's just been said right here and cleared up that it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't, because all in to me, okay, this is my definition of all in. And it's a song. No one to hold them, no one to fold them. Are you going to go all in on a hand? Do you think you have the team right now to go all in? If you do, that's pushing everything into the goddamn center, right? You're not playing for next year. You're playing for this year. You're going to do anything you can at the demise for seasons down the road, right? Like, I don't care about 2025, 2026, or 2027. If I'm all in, I'm going out, I'm signing at least 2 starters in free agency on the defense and probably 2 starters in free agency on the offense. That's
Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. Fuck you.
But you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to see all in means and it might not work out. It means this. I don't know what to do with my hands.
You push it all in.
But that's an AJ for me, and I don't. Obviously, the Joneses. That's not all. They don't know what all in means. I guess like they've been too rich for too long, right?
We've been all in since my daddy bought the Cowboys,
Yeah,
so I don't know what this question is.
All in. Daddy bought it at $150 million. Now we're worth a jillion, right? Like I don't know if they know the definition of all in, but in my mind, is all in is you're risking it all right now to win it all, right? And they don't seem to know that.
Yeah, since you didn't ask what my
I'm fired up, by the way.
I know, I can tell.
I'm fucking jacked up.
And the problem with Anth over here in the Millennium Falcon with me right now is that he could get so booshed up that he might just fucking sucker punch me as I'm sitting here. I'll go for a handhold and he'll sucker punch me as I'm sitting here. Questions like this, like Alex was saying and like Boots was saying, they're not going to tell you everything they want to do. However, my only thing about questioning like that type of strategy, because it is a very political response, is Roku released the draft, the behind the scenes of the draft, and the Cowboys were one of the team that they followed. And like when they're sitting there and in the moment, seeing them call up their grandkid and be like, "Hey, so Demarion Overshown plays on your team. Tell me about him." It's like,
have you seen him in the shower?
Yeah, it's like you're like, okay, they're doing this for the show, but it's like, now with answers and responses like this, is like, are they actually, or is it like a last minute thing where they're like, oh, you know what, let's get one last look on this person, because I don't know, maybe we don't know what we're gonna do.
Do you think, now that you bring that up, that's funny. It's like you guys couldn't have called your grandson 2 months ago and asked them about Demario Overshown.
Obviously, it's for the show, being like, okay, we're on the clock. You know, let's just call whatever the fucking kid's name is on the team. He plays with him. Hey, yo, tell me about DeMarvion. How is he? Yeah, he's a great guy. Everyone likes him. He's a dog on the ball. This and that. Yeah. Guess what? You knew that fucking 4 months ago when you put him on your big board. So I hope it's telling them that they're going to do it, but history shows that they haven't really gone that route to surprise us. So it is a little bit concerning. I think they just don't have any news and they just want to kind of create headlines.
Do we want to hear a little bit more of what Batson has to say? Let's hear it.
AJ does.
I mean, hey, maybe it's going to clear some things up, guys. Let's listen.
Let's hear him.
Yeah, give us some more bats on.
To take the next step.
You mentioned Vanderbish. Do you have a resolution with that? Are you just not ready to tell us?
No, we'll just let Leighton will speak to that. It's certainly an injury issue with him. That he's getting his hands around, and let him speak to that.
What do you think about where Mozzie Smith is, coming off his rookie season, and just the importance of him?
Yeah.
Listen to that breathing of him.
Yeah, we have nothing but confidence in Mozzie. I mean, I think it was a transition for him.
Okay, that's enough. Like that, you have nothing but confidence in Mozzie. There's the politician in you. Yep. Of course, they're going to say that. And you know what? As Cowboys fans, we should hope that that's true. We should hope that Mozzie right now is showing. And I know we're sidestepping a little bit and talking about what he just said, but I hope that they think Mozzie Smith is going to take leaps and bounds in season 2, because season 1, that motherfucker was at some people have him rated a D. He's a fail. He was an F at most for me. For a first-round pick picked in the 20s, Mozzie Smith was an absolute F. So hopefully they have hope for him.
You know what they say? There's no hope in winning.
Facts.
I was going to say there's no hope.
Can you guys just imagine a world, though, in what, like, everything that Anthony is saying right now just comes through? Like, for example, this offseason, we start getting everybody. We got Saquon, we got Derrick Henry. We're going to go ahead and get, like, Patrick Queen. We're going to get Bobby Wagner, everybody. And then next year it's like, oh, sorry, Dak, we don't have enough money to afford you. Sorry, Micah, you're gone. CD, hey, we went all in last year. Remember, we got that beautiful Super Bowl.
But what happens if you win a Super Bowl? That's the thing. Are you willing? And this is what all in means to me. If you do that and you win a Super Bowl, is that worth forfeiting your next 5 years? I mean, they've essentially forfeited the last 28, right? Yeah. They haven't won shit. I don't care what they've done. Stephen Jones is talking about 36 games. Well, let's talk about playoff wins in the last 3 years. One fucking playoff win against the Bucks. One playoff win. Playoffs in the last 3 years. That's more important than your 36 regular season wins. So if you're going to go all in and get boots, Patrick Queen, I'd love it. I don't know about doubling down on the 2 running backs like Ad said, but go all in. Go all in, and if you get a Super Bowl, even if you get it to a point that, like, I hate to say it, an NFC Championship game and you lose, at least it shows you fucking tried and you went all in and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And just for the record, I was not serious about getting Derek and Saquon at the same time. That was just Josh.
Never happened.
Adam, here's the thing I was gonna say. Just like this is what all in means to me. How all in Dallas Cowboys all in moves would affect me. I have 2 examples, and I'll use Adam as well here. So I'm against signing a running back for, say, more than $8 million on the free agency. I just think waste of money. I'm against signing Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley.
Like either of them, one of them, even just one of them.
No, let's say combined. Just like either one's going to be over $8 million.
Yes, fair.
But what if we woke up tomorrow and the Cowboys signed Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley?
I'm buying their jerseys. Obviously, we've talked about this before.
Could you imagine?
I'm sending Adam a gift basket for manifesting that.
Yeah. I'm gonna be like fucking Mama Kelsey, and I'm gonna have half of my jersey is gonna be Saquon, half of my jersey is gonna be King Henry.
So what? It'd be 2022.
Yeah.
So it'd actually just be Henry.
Yeah.
Or it'd be 26. So it'd just be Saquon.
Yeah. 26 Barkley and he.
I mean, guys, as Cowboys fans, we've waited for that splash, right? And I was excited with the Gilmore, the Gilmore and the Cook stuff last year. I was excited about that. Like those, and they both played substantially well this season.
Was that going all in though?
No, not even close. Yeah. Was that going all in? Not even close.
So they need to do something bigger than that.
Even during the season last year, there was guys, man, I think it was 2021 when they were talking about Roquan Smith leaving Chicago.
We probably have video of it.
I steamrolled that saying, trade for this dude, trade for this dude, trade for this dude, trade for this dude. He'll make your defense a top 5 defense.
Yep.
And they let that go, and then he goes to
said it.
Baltimore. I said it. Yeah, I said it. And then he goes to Baltimore, and look at Baltimore's defense. So I just want them to make a splash play, whether it be, I mean, I'd rather Patrick Queen than any running back, honestly. Like, I'd rather a defensive stud, young hammer, than one of these aging running backs. Like, Queen's coming off his rookie contract, had an amazing season, and there's actually a bunch of other linebackers that are younger that are going to help the team, opposed to a running back like AJ said. I don't want to overspend. If you're not going to spend $8 million on Tony Pollard, I don't want to spend $8 million on any running back. Honestly.
I mean, go ahead, AJ.
It's also what's available.
Yeah.
It's just like it's also what's available, and then the potential of just finding a nice young stud in the draft in like a later round. That there's just better hope in that with what you can get out of the money, putting it towards a defensive player. Like if another all-in example would be 90% of the free agent budget goes after the top LB or top DL.
Yes.
In the free agents.
Yes. I agree with that. And there's been numbers out that the Cowboys are going to have money. They're going to have money to be able to do some of these things that fans want them to. So, guys, we're going to do a little lightning round here. It's a lot of stuff that let's hear what you got.
There was one thing I think we deserve to give him his flowers, is he did mention LVE and LVE's situation, and we all hope LVE comes back and continues how he was playing for the majority of the season, but 100% understand if he needs to hang it up. That's the smartest decision. Then we got his back.
That was the you have his back. Was it a back injury? And it's just shame. You never want to see, because LVE's got to be late 20s, maybe 30. Like, you never want to see a guy have to hang him up due to injury. And he did, man. He fought back his rookie year. I was actually just watching his mic'd up, him and Jalen Smith together, when I think it was 2018, 2019, when they were pretty decent together. Fuck, they looked like dogs. And then LVE just had those neck injuries and the back injuries, and it's like, you're gun shy, and you can't blame the guy. Like, you're actually at that point with a neck, you are risking your life. You are, right? Like, you're going to be hesitant. So I hope
please correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't LVE the first actual Dallas Cowboy to ever shout out Cowboys Can fan?
No, you're not wrong, because you got him on. You're the one who got him saying
you did.
Yeah, and after that, you can do no wrong.
That's actually, and that's some of the legend of boots on the ground. Bought G Eric, and that's your namesake, like your boots on the ground.
That's where it originated
always
from.
hold a special place in my heart for that.
I love LVE, and you never want to hurt. You never want to see someone go out like that.
Just before we go on to your next topic here, Eric Castillo in the chat says, let's get back to 2014-2018 Cowboys. Great defense and a run-first offense. We've seen the high-flying offense already. Not good enough.
Yeah, no, I agree. 2014 to 2018, you know what the common denominator was that? You had 3 all-pro, Pro Bowl offensive linemen. Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin.
There's that one
staples of that offense.
There was a picture of them. I don't know who posted it, but you see the 2014 offensive line and a young Zach Martin.
Zach Martin, rookie.
Yep.
Taking over Johnny Manziel. Yeah. Taking over Johnny Manziel. Okay, so we have 10 most interesting Cowboy storylines entering this week's NFL Scouting Combine. You're going to notice that the Combine is a little bit of a theme because it starts tomorrow. This is all stuff that we've went over. I just kind of want to lightning round it, get Boots' opinion. Maybe if any of us have fresh takes on any of the stuff, because we have talked about a bunch of it, but if we can get some fresh takes and again, Bot G's opinion on it, it's just stuff that this writer, I should give a shout out to the writer, John Machota, who's actually he's one of the GOAT Cowboys writers, is saying are the biggest headlines heading in. So at number 1, which, oh my God, the paywall. As soon as you scroll,
I told you.
I know, but where's reader? Where can you click the reader?
Let me click off of it. I have no idea.
You want me to send you my my subscription?
Oh, Bocce has a subby.
I had to subscribe so I can read the article.
Oh, Punchy did subscribe. I was telling Anth, I was like, dude, you sent me I don't have
I know,
it.
but on your phone you can go into it didn't do this to me. I'm just gonna subscribe with ad.
No, just use mine. Hold on, I'll send you
Okay.
my
Punchy's gonna
email.
text you his login.
Okay.
Wait, on your phone, you can bypass that.
Yeah, you hit reader mode on my phone. It's just you can read the whole article. But I learned that before this. Like I didn't have this until I was driving here today, and ad called me and he's like, "Hey, what's
Hey, I'm building. This is some behind baseball. I'm like, I'm building out the thumbnail. What is your article cover? Because I can't read it. It has, and I'm assuming Anth has some sort of subscription for it. So
No, I didn't. Even today I was able to go on it. I wonder if they have it free for a day and then they paywall it after. But
no, because I looked at it. I looked at it and it didn't work. But you know, hey, this is why Eric Boots on the Ground is the guy who he is, because he doesn't fuck around.
That's why he's team captain.
He is team captain. If I'm going on any type of trip, I'm calling Boots to be like, okay, what would you do in this scenario? And then Boots would just be like,
I'm coming in
this scenario.
Okay, we're logged in. Boots to the rescue. Hey,
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit here.
Look at that. Zoom in on that fucking Boots sub right there.
Okay,
Hey,
so
I'm gonna need a producer credit on my name now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you are a producer. Guys, we hit this already. Yeah. The what does going all in? I think we've talked about that a little bit already, so we're gonna skip past that one. Number 2, what are their top priorities in the draft? And this is ultimately changing at all times. So I'd like to hear.
Well, do you want me to read what he says, or are we just?
No, fuck no. I don't care what Machota. Machota, take your paywall, stick it in your ass. We're basically just piggybacking off your article. I want to hear what Boots wants to do in the draft.
Hey, Machota, lick my McChota.
Yeah, lick my McChota, son. I like that. Dunked on.
Oh man. And we just talked so good about him earlier, giving him credit, and now we're over here bagging on the guy.
What CanFan gives, CanFan taketh away, baby.
Oh, yeah. We brought you into this world. We will take you out of it.
Okay, well, if we're going by need, we got to go linebacker. There's that guy. His name is slipping me right now. But he's from I think he's from. Is it Texas? No, it's not Texas.
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
Yeah,
yes.
that's Edrin Cooper.
Cooper. However, I am a big fan. I've always been a big fan of taking the best player available.
Yep.
So if that guy, that center from Oregon, JPP, is out there and
JPP. Yep.
Yeah, if he's available, then we take him. Because there's Cowboys have so many different holes, so many different needs, and if you got the absolute stud, he could be the next Travis Frederick coming into the team. I'd rather have him and have the next Pro Bowler start day one than Cooper that may or may not play, and it may end up in another Mozzie Smith situation type of thing.
Yeah, so you're saying whoever you take this year at 24, they have to start day one.
Yes, I want the best player available at whatever position of need.
Way J, Travel J. I know your stance. Like, what are you feeling right now? Me and you, we don't really talk to Ad about draft.
They never talk.
We don't talk to Ad about draft. We actually we kind of silence him out of it.
AJ and Anth kind of lock eyes like they're fucking each other, and then they realize that it's a threesome, and they're like, "Oh shit, this is awkward." Like,
he's still here.
You're still here.
Still in the room.
Just film. You just film.
Yeah, just hold the camera. Shut up and sit there.
Yeah, I'm the cuckold fucking husband or boyfriend for one of them. Like,
Adam, you're only there to hold the camera and give them the Gatorade whenever they're thirsty. Maybe towel them down a little bit.
Yeah, that's how it is. I'm fine with that.
Bring the ice. Go bring the ice.
Get the ice.
You know,
Gimp.
Dallas Cowboys Chris in the house.
Shout out Cowboys Chris.
And he wants to be co-captain. Obviously, you are co-captain.
Of course he is. Way J, though, ultimately, what are you thinking? I know we've talked a little bit. What are you thinking about this?
Look, so my mind hasn't changed. I'd still love one of those two young wide receivers that show up. One's Troy Franklin, and I forget the other dude's name.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
No, from LSU. From LSU.
Is it Jackson or something?
I'll tell you right now. You just keep talking why you like him.
I would love another piece of firepower on the offense. I think that's what kind of the wide receiver group and CeeDee Lamb is Dak Prescott is missing, and CeeDee Lamb is missing. And of course, in the second round, then just on the PFF drafts, Brooks always pops up. I don't like to pick that, but I'm also like, oh, that would be great to kind of have. Maybe he's going to be, the next Saquon Barkley or something like that. So, but I've come around to BPA because it is more of like, well, there's only a couple positions that you wouldn't really want to be drafting anyone, right?
Yeah.
And if within those like next, say, 3 picks in the first round, when it comes down to DPA, there's a position there that the Cowboys could use and fill. Offensive line is definitely one of them. I agree with Boots, and either center, tackle. I mean, even a guard who's had experience in the tackle position or the center position is something I'd be interested in. Also, last thing, I'm not against. There's a couple cornerbacks as well. I mean, a kind of a college veteran slot QB cornerback would be nice.
Yep.
Or a safety who is maybe doesn't have as great run stopping, but his coverage ability is really good. Well, I'd like to bring him in and test the waters in a slot position or in a cornerback position there.
Yeah,
I think that there's some guys valuable there who are dropping because of their run stop ability.
So AJ, the LSU wide receiver you're talking about is Brian Thomas Jr., where a lot of spots, and I like that you say wide receiver because a lot of people are, crack him if you got him, son. A lot of people are going away from wide receiver. And I mean, there's been years where we've taken wide receivers where wide receiver hasn't been on the board. CeeDee Lamb, I mean, that draft, I don't remember ever thinking we needed a wide receiver. Like, I don't remember thinking, like, it was never like, oh man, we had Amari Cooper. It wasn't like, oh, we need to draft a wide receiver. But nobody was mad when we took CeeDee Lamb, right? Even the Des Bryant year, Miles Austin was killing it at the time.
It's because it's like, a sexy position.
It's a sexy position.
A sexy position. You're never gonna really be mad about taking that type of player.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, that's I'm a BPA boy unless there's that sexy player there, and they're not necessarily.
Well, BPA a lot of the time falls into the sexy player.
Yeah.
So, and that's gonna lead me into you, Ad. What are you thinking for first round, babe?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Asking me.
You're welcome. I know I forget about you.
Thanks for asking.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Guess who's here? I'm here.
He's here.
Happy to be here.
He's happy to be here.
I'm here.
I'm here.
Like, when we took Mozzie Smith, I'm like deep down like, okay, you know what? It's not the sexy player. It's not the sexy.
None
player.
of us liked it.
Not the sexy player that we wanted. But as a fan who wants to win, I'm like, okay, if it's a need, and he's gonna fill that need for us, then I'm all for it. If it's not the sexy player, right? I'm all for it. But I want that fucking splash player. I want a BPA for sure, or I want that fucking sex. I don't even care if there's a BPA and it's an O-line or a D-line guy, but a couple people down, it's like a stud. It's like a Troy Franklin, or it's another stud linebacker that's like, you know what, like. Other people are looking for him. Is it a little too early? But this guy's a dog. Pick him, because we're not going to get him in the second round.
Nope.
Like I do want a linebacker. I do want a running back, and then I want BPA.
Well,
so those are or
running back's good for here because you're not gonna. There's no running back really at BPA, which is good. That's good for us, right?
Yep.
But linebacker, yeah. If the Cowboys think, or if there's last year, okay, this is the thing. We had talked a lot about Joey Porter Jr.
Yes, we did.
He was still available at the time.
Still fucking available.
Osiris Torrance. There was guys.
We have clips. We have receipts about us being complaining about that at that time.
We do enough research that, like, when the pick happens, we're allowed to have a opinion. And I like this is even better. We're getting into how we're feeling. For me personally, I'm BPA all the way. I'm all the way BPA. If it's an offensive lineman, even like Tyron Smith might not be around. Like, there's a lot of shit that's gonna play out. I'm full on offensive tackles. There's a bunch of good ones. So I'm also not against not going offensive tackle and then getting one in the second or third. But for me, player wise, I'm still kind of figuring out who I want. I like this in the first round, but BPA for me for sure. And it might, at that point where the Cowboys are picking, it might be wide receiver. Like, there's a very good chance.
I would
that
be
it's going
fine.
to be
I,
wide
I
receiver.
would be fine with a fucking
And no one's
first or second round.
No
wide
one's
receiver.
talking. No one's talking wide receiver right now, because again, I mean, I'll take a center all day. I'll take any offensive lineman position, but a stud 2 would go Miles. But let's move on to 3 here.
Hey,
What?
real quick, in Will McClay,
get
I
it.
trust. I'm just gonna say, in Will McClay, I trust. And we can
Facts.
say whatever we want about any player, but I also remember us being at the Oxnard training camp talking all this shit about Brandon Aubrey and how we wanted him off the team. So just shows how much we know.
But in that situation, we did watch him miss 3 kicks in a row. Like,
Yeah,
that's pretty
no, we
fair.
did.
That's pretty fair as fans at a training camp after we just like went through the shit we did.
we
Look
did
at Ad. This is Ad and I. Are we related?
Yeah,
We're both just points.
I remember AJ just losing his shit when he missed that third field
Yeah,
goal.
well, we're like Boots. When we were there, and you were there with us.
Yeah, Boots is.
Oh, yeah.
We were live
spearheading that.
streaming there, and then we did another 2-hour podcast afterwards
About how shitty they were.
about talking about the fucking kickers. Like we
Yeah.
spent
Yeah.
our entire one day of our training camp experience was dedicated to these the one kicker I don't even know his
Viscano.
name.
I know. I
Viscano.
know.
How
Hey,
good? How
we still
good?
had a great time.
How good did it feel to be wrong? Felt
Oh,
great.
so good.
Felt great. But I like
So
to be
good.
right.
Because I'm hardly ever wrong. I'm almost never wrong.
Right? So what, one time out of the year, if it's going to be Cowboys related, that's good. So number
Right.
3, what's the latest on the contract talks with Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons? I'm going to lead out with this because I don't think it's much to talk about. All 3 of these guys are going to be on the Cowboys this year. CeeDee's going to more than likely have a new contract. Same with Dak. And then they're going to figure out Micah's either during the season or next year.
They really don't have to do anything, right?
No,
I mean,
they
they
don't.
still have one more year.
Yep.
Do you guys see any of these guys like sitting out and being like, "Look, give me an extension, off me a contract, or I'm going to ride the bench"?
I mean, I could see CD pulling the card. It's just smart play. I mean, he came off as one of the best seasons as a wide receiver ever in the NFL. He's going into his 5th year. Like, that's his 5th year, isn't it?
Okay, so here maybe let's add a little bit of a spin since it's topic number 3. You're forced to re-sign one of those 3 players this year. Which one would you take?
I already know my answer, but I'll let you guys go first.
No, you're going first since you're locked and loaded.
Dak Prescott.
So
he frees up the most money to allow you to do other shit. I mean, I don't think that. I think there's gonna yeah, which then allows you to sign CeeDee Lamb. But if you had to pick one, in my brain, it's Dak Prescott because it frees up so many more avenues to do other things with other money.
Okay. Baji?
I agree. That's the correct answer. There's nobody else that can come in and do what Dak's going to do with the players he has around him. There's no one you can draft, coming out of you can get Caleb Williams. He's not going to be able to, get out of the Cowboys what Dak Prescott's getting out of the Cowboys. I know people rag on Dak Prescott, but Dak did not lose that game on Green Bay. Our defense did. There's all these other holes that we can fix, but Dak is not the problem. I'm going to stand by number 4. I am a Dak rider.
Ooh.
AJ?
Yeah, I agree. It's the budget that you can get back by, signing Dak. But let me also use my time to
crack that check.
How long were you itching to get that one in?
About 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, those are the ones. And when you're not live, it's trickier, right? It's trickier to get those crack 'em. When you're live, you just fucking hold it up and you go for it. But when you're OOO and not even OOO but OOC, out of country, you gotta wait for your talking point.
Out of country, delayed on Zoom, and then Zoom stops your crack. So like, so that's get that chang in you.
Grab a chang.
Grab a chang.
That chang. Oh, also just to throw it at you guys, I believe we know Parsons' 5th year value. I think it's 24 million.
24 million. Yep. Yeah, it is. It's right there. It might be between 24 and 26, but 24 sounds right. It's either 24.5 or 25.4.
Yeah.
But you're right.
But considering that too, with just like Parsons alone, question aside, do you re-sign him or do you just take that 5th year? Like, what's going to be more or less, right?
Well, but AJ, this is the crazy thing. Like, they're talking about Micah's 5th year. The only reason they're not talking about CD's 5th year, because this was the conversation last year. Like, CD's in his 5th year, which is going to be, for a wide receiver, it's going to be north of 20 in the 20s also, right? So you still have Micah Parsons on his 4th-year deal right now that you can still, like, it's millions, but not like in the 20s. You could rework CDs right now and skip the 5th-year option, which you're going to have the same issue with Micah next year, but you're having that with CD right now.
What we're also probably seeing right now with CD Lamb is, depending on what's going to happen with Justin Jefferson. So CD Lamb's probably smart to wait for the Justin Jefferson trade or deal or re-signing to actually happen, and then go in and start negotiating.
Cowboys should try to get him done. Yeah,
Justin,
you're right.
Justin
Good
Jefferson
call.
is probably waiting for CD Lamb to make some. Like everybody, all
Do you
these
think
guys,
they talk about that?
they have to like
Like just as buddies? Like they're obviously buddies or like acquaintances.
You listen to any former players on all their podcasts, like Chad Johnson and like Shannon Sharp, when they're
Club Shay Shay?
Club Shay Shay, when they're or whatever their podcast.
Pivot podcast.
No. But whenever these players are talking about money and they're all on the same page, it's like you get as much money from these organizations as you can. And us as fans, we're always like, oh, these selfish players, they're holding out, or they're like, these teams make so much money off of the players, and that little amount of money that they're going to get, a couple million here, a couple million there. Like,
you're the people's champ and you're the players champ.
I am the players champ. I would be part of the NFLPA association. I went to an NFLPA party. I feel like I have to rep it, you know?
Yeah, fair.
I feel like Dak's the only one you can really negotiate with, because it's not like, the question is, can he reset the market at 60 mil? Well, the answer is no. He hasn't won, 3 Super Bowls in his career, like a Patrick Mahomes, and he's probably the only one that can reset the QB market. So you can negotiate with him there. When you have Michael Parsons coming up next year and everyone comparing him to LT, Michael Parsons will end up the highest paid linebacker of all time, and there's no getting around that.
Defensive player.
So in that case, you wait to see what other people are doing, and then you pay him a little more than what everyone else is doing. But with Dak, you can negotiate.
Dak has the Cowboys bent over. Right now.
Yeah, but what about but what about CeeDee Lamb? Do you think CeeDee Lamb is going?
CeeDee Lamb has to get paid this year. Like, we're talking about guys that'll sit out. CeeDee Lamb's a guy that should sit out. They re-signed Trevon Diggs. Because Trevon Diggs didn't have the 5th-year option. He was taken in the 2nd round of the same draft as CeeDee Lamb. So they had to get his deal done, right? Well, now CeeDee's basically in the position that Trevon Diggs was in at this time last year, and Micah Parsons is going to be in this spot next year.
Yep.
So for me, like, it'd be pretty crazy to go into training camp without a deal done for CD. But the question was, if we had to pick one, who am I picking? And it's got to be Dak Prescott, just because it frees up more. So that's on to number 4. I mean, this one I think we can glaze by. Do they plan on keeping Michael Gallup?
Fuck
just
him.
one word answers. All of us, one word answer.
No.
Bye.
Wait, Jay.
The Cowboys. Yes. Sorry, I had more.
That was
more
like
than one
18 words. You think the Cowboys? You think the Cowboys are going to keep Michael Gallup?
Well, I'm kind of just playing funny, but I think there's a 49% chance that Jerry is like, no, that's my boy Gallup.
Jerry's like, that's his hill that he wants to die on.
He wants to die on Michael Gallup.
Like, that deal was right. That deal was right. So we're going to move past that. We're moving right past the Michael Gallup thing. Number 5, and this is interesting.
Zooming in a little bit there, Chad.
You want me to zoom in a bit? Okay, I'm got it.
In there, Chad.
But what is the offensive line plan?
Good question.
You know what? Here, I got
read
one.
it. It's crack 'em if you got 'em, son.
Left tackle Tyron Smith and center Tyler Badass are unrestricted free agents. The offensive line has dropped off in recent years. Upgrades are needed. It's a decent bet that Smith could return on somewhat team-friendly 1-year deal. Biadasz is unlikely to do the same. If he signs elsewhere, center will probably need to be addressed early in the draft. What is the plan for Tyler Smith, ? When he was drafted? The thought was he'd eventually be the team's starting left tackle. However, things have been going well at left guard. They might not want to move him. So this is what we talked about last week with J-Tuck. Maybe just kind of recap.
Yeah, with Tyler Smith, it'd be great for him because, again, and I always like to throw this into the flame. When he was drafted, a lot of people other than me didn't know who he was, but I was filmed at the draft not knowing who he was when he got drafted. But the hope was he would then move to he would play guard and then move to left tackle, taking over his brother Tyron Smith's spot. But now that it's looking at it, like Tyron Smith missed some time and they kept Tyler Smith at guard. So he might be playing the situation like Zach Martin did, where he's, I don't know if I want to say refusing to make the switch, but the team has settled in with him at guard. So that's up in the air right now. Tyler Biadasz obviously is a undrafted or a fucking unrestricted free agent. Same with T. Smith. If you guys had to, and this is going to be an interesting one, if you had to keep one of the two, Tyron Smith or Tyler Biadasz, who are you guys keeping?
Ooh,
Tyron Smith.
Yep.
Tyron. You can, I get he gets hurt every once in a while and he misses a few games, but when he's there, he's still top 3 left tackles in the league. Like,
yep.
He plays at that level. You look at PPF and he's up there. You know, he's graded really, really high and he's doing a really good job. And it's when Dak getting sacked, it's not coming through Tyron Smith's side.
Yep, you're right. Facts. AJ?
Yeah, I'll just play devil's advocate because I agree. Tyler Smith's probably the one you go with. But, you know, injury history has to be included in this decision. He's another year older. So let's say you go with Biadasz. He's going to be much cheaper, you know, on how much he costs, I think. Maybe not like long term. But you sign him, and if a center's available in draft, is BPA, you still go ahead and get that center, and now you have Biadasz as a transitional, the backup kind of starter, which, you know, that's why you got to sign him before the draft so he doesn't, you know that you're going to do that.
And that will be the interesting thing, because free agency comes before the draft, and it'll tell you, like, what did the Cowboys do before the draft? It's going to show their hand a bit. If Tyler Biadasz is still not signed by the Cowboys by draft day, they're more than likely looking to get a center, right? Same thing with Tyron Smith. If Tyron Smith isn't re-signed by draft day, or the Cowboys are like trying to get a player and they don't, then they try to re-sign him. But that's risky business to me. Like, Tyron Smith to me is a Hall of Famer. He is. Sure, he doesn't have the hardware. He doesn't have the Super Bowls. He doesn't have the NFC Championship games. But that dude's been in the NFL since he was 20 years old. And he's been dominant since the day he stepped in the NFL. He started for the Cowboys right away at right tackle, moved over to left tackle shortly after, and was an absolute fucking force for years. And yes, he's had injuries and he's had some not being on the field. But if they can get a team-friendly deal and just pay him almost on like a per game basis, or a clause where if he misses a game, it's excluded. That to me is just such a option to go with. And then you can target center. So I don't know. The offensive line is going to be a really interesting one to see throughout the offseason.
Yeah, I'm going to go Tyron Smith, even though I wasn't asked.
So this is what happens when 3 other people have made when 3 other people have had their answers. You can just add. What do you think?
I just wanted to comment on this.
Hey, reach over that way so it looks like we're go the other way. It looks like we're hand holding.
Oh. Yeah, sorry.
Adam, we're gas.
Adam, I got you right.
Okay.
Yeah, get boots above you. AJ, get me.
Oh wait.
Cowboy Red says, and this was to Alex's Gallup comment: get on your horse and gallop right out of town, stat boy.
Yeah.
I just had to say it because it was very true. Gonna hit chat here for a couple of comments before we go to the next one. Divine Gun says we should draft a center in first round. LOL. Eric Castillo says there aren't even 15 humans on this planet that are better than Dak. Dak was a slow learner early on, but he's still the guy I'd roll with. It took Peyton Manning 8 years to win his first Super Bowl.
I mean, I think we're all here, and I see it in the comments on social media all the time. People talking shit to us. They do. They're like, oh yeah, all the time. Yeah. Like, because I'm a Dak fan. Like, and it's pretty. There's Dak Prescott fans, like guys that want Dak to be the quarterback. And I'm on a thin line here with Dak. I am. I'll admit it. I still think he's by far head over heels the best option for quarterback. But you'll have the Dak Prescott, the Dak Riders, if you will, and then the Trey Lance boys. That's what it is right now. It's wild how Trey Lance is even a thing, but that's a whole different discussion. Let's get into number 6. Is there any more clarity on what to expect from the defense?
So Mike Zimmer didn't provide much detail about his plan for the defense during his introductory news conference 2 weeks ago, but it'll be interesting to see what can be gathered during the week in Indianapolis. Is Parsons going to play more off the ball linebacker, or will his role be similar to the last 3 seasons? Question mark. Actually, this one when we were talking about in terms of, and Boots said Dak Prescott didn't give up 48 points in the game. So the person that did give up 48 points in terms of why the front office, i.e. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, might not be saying too much. Dan Quinn's gone, so they think, well,
yeah, that was on his own accord.
I know.
Dan Quinn would have still been. Jerry and Steven were like, we won 30. We won 36 games.
That could be the only problem. Like, we got all the pieces right in here. We've been an all in last year, but Dan Quinn was the puzzle piece that wasn't there. In any case, do they think they can bring back veteran free agent CB Stephon Gilmore and DT Jonathan Big Hank Hankins? If not, what is the plan to fill out the starting lineup at corner and tackle? What are other noticeable changes we will see on the field with Zimmer calling the shots?
Who wants to lead out? Who's got a strong opinion on this? Because I really don't. I know I'm usually the one to go. Yeah. But Boots, what are you feeling?
I have one, but I really, really want to hear what Adam has to say. I mean,
fuck that guy.
I want to start with him.
Well, look, I mean,
come on, Adam.
Thank you, Boots, for calling it out to me. I think that with Zimmer.
So, Boots, what? Just kidding.
Thanks. Trying to hold your hand there.
He's trying to hold your hand.
He's stretching my neck, bro. I think that with Zimmer, we called it a lot. We didn't see much blitzing, and Zimmer's.
Sorry. I was a puppeteer for AJ for a second. Sorry.
That's okay.
I thought you were going like this.
Hey, we're all here. Cup it, you know.
Cup it.
So with Zimmer, I think what we're hoping to see, I want to see more blitzing. I mean, we've been doing this show and we've been doing our streams and we haven't seen the blitz package like we've been wanting. So interesting to see Zimmer come in and maybe kick the defense in the butt. We've talked about our defensive team being a little bit undisciplined or not having that dog in them. So
you want to see him bring that fire.
Bring that fire and bring some of that package scheme that we want to see, like blitzing, and then that way Ultra Cowboy can fucking bitch about something else.
Ad has these vendettas against guys in chat because Ad sees it. Ad has the Can Fan chat on his shoulders because I can feel it when we're watching, like during the Green Bay game. I had to say to Ad live stream, I'm like, dude, stop looking at chat. Like, this sucks enough already. And you're reading all this shit in chat. And Ad wouldn't. He's the people's champ. He was going right for it.
The real people's champ.
He'll shoulder the weight of the whole chat. And
I'm protecting the Can Fan crew.
AJ and I are just blah, 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 blah. And Ad's protecting us from that. So I appreciate it, brother.
People.
He's the man of the people.
So that's my question. That's my answer.
So guys, between Boots or WayJ, what are you guys feeling with Zimmer being brought in? What I'm going to ask, like, what do you guys, I'm not even really with this question, but what do you guys hope the Zimmer hire brings?
Go for it, Boots.
Okay, so I honestly think he's gonna just open up the cages and let the lion loose. A lot has to do with what Adam was saying, like the blitz packages. We didn't really see that, but at the same time, I'm not too upset at Lieutenant Dan because look what happened. We lost Trayvon Diggs in week 2, week 3, and so we were kind of hindered. So if everyone, God willing, is healthy this season, and we got Trayvon Diggs back there, and we retained Stephon Gilmore, and then we got Deron Bland, you know, our pick, Mr. Pick Six himself back there, that's going to allow us to be able to really attack. And I mean, oh my God, if Overshown comes back, I mean, we missed out on him, but if he really lives up to expectations and him with Micah Parsons on the other side, and if we can just add just like somebody from the draft, because if we're going all in this year, to me, in the draft, that means moving up. We don't have to pick someone at 24. Maybe the Cowboys can move up and give up a third or fourth pick, or maybe a future pick next year to really get someone that's going to be a difference maker. And I think that's going to open things up for the defense to be able to be more explosive and be more aggressive, and you're going to see a lot more blitz packages.
I do like that you brought up all in, meaning draft picks. Like, we didn't even talk about that. Like, yeah, if you're all in, maybe you're moving up in the draft. That's a great call. WayJ?
Look, I think Zimmer has said, like, he just works with what he has. He's not a guy who's like committed to a 3-4 or a 4-3. And he just has fundamentals about how he likes to run his defense with, and he'll make it work with the guys he has. He has the experience, at least, to back that claim up. We'll see if that actually plays out, right? Of course, we've had this discussion before. If you are a defensive guy and you get a say in the war room, you're going to want to draft a defensive player and vice versa for offense. But the other thing, on top of unleashing the lion, which is a great point.
I do like
that. But Dono Dub, last year, he had 13 total pressures, 5 sacks, 4 hits, and 4 hurries. This year, he had 5 hurries and 1 hit.
Why'd that go? Sack. Yeah, why'd that change? Like, you totally, that's great. Like, why'd they take that away from his game?
AJ bought that jersey based off of his 2022 stats.
Well, Dono Dub's always been that guy. And,
right.
and AJ's, that's a great point.
Excellent point.
So I think Zimmer's the type of guy who's going to, like, see that talent in Dono Dub. And luckily, man, we do have that ability to add another secondary or safety star. Like, we got that depth where it's not going to hurt us if Dono Dub does come up, but he starts blitzing a little bit more, right?
Definitely.
That's fun football.
Right now, so as far as the safeties, I'll touch on it before I give my answer. You're going to have Donovan Wilson, Malik Hooker, and you're going to also have Wanye Thomas. Those 3 dudes.
What grade did we give them when we were ranking?
We gave them super tier last year because we were based off of J-Ron Curse's 2 years prior. And then J-Ron just disappeared last year.
Yep, changed his number.
So he changed his number to Bossman Fat's number. And
that's a curse.
Yeah, he cursed it. So my thing with Zimmer's defense, all I want is accountability. I don't want to keep seeing these repeat offsides. I don't want to see these repeat pass interference. The Cowboys have been one of the top penalized teams in the NFL the last few years. Mike Zimmer's teams were always one of the least penalized teams. So that means accountability, and with accountability comes success.
I have a question before we move off of the Zimmer number 6 here. When we talk about this team's undisciplined, like, hold them accountable, what would a defensive coordinator do to get the team disciplined?
You go offside one more fucking time, don't expect to play the rest of the game. Boom, done. I don't give a fuck if you're making 50 million. I don't care if you're making 50 million or 5 million. You go offside one more fucking time, don't even, just go sit down. Go get your rubber ducky and hit the showers, you little punk, because it ain't happening.
It's like when you read about Jimmy Johnson cutting the player.
That's accountability.
Yeah.
If you fuck up, you're going to be held to it.
Yeah, you're late you're late for the team meeting, you're cut.
And I hate to say it, but that's the only way you can. And these guys, like these stud guys that, like, I'm not going to name names, but guys that get paid more than dudes that don't, they know that they're almost untouchable, and they have been untouchable in Dallas Cowboys football for a long time. So Zimmer will bring that, hopefully.
And if I just may add before we go off this topic, I heard an article today, and it was talking about how, Lieutenant Dan leaving, he go over with the Washington Commanders, and it's expected for him to maybe take a couple of the undrafted or unsigned free agents over to the Commanders. Well, using that same logic, who do you guys think from Minnesota that's a free agent is Zimmer gonna bring over and add to the team?
I hope Hunter. I hope Danielle Hunter.
Ooh.
Like, if we could get him, sign me up. Sign me up right now. And that's actually plays into the all-in. Like, you go and get a guy like that to play opposite of D-Law, or even to be just in the mix with D-Law and Parsons. That just makes that defensive line not even an S tier for us rating, but an S tier in the NFL. Like, as far that, and to me, that's the only guy off the top of my head I can think of that as a free agent. But get him if you could.
Mr. O'Shea 81 says a DC in the NFL will not say that to a star player. To a guy lower on the depth chart, yes.
I know, and it's unfortunate, isn't it? But Zimmer,
Zimmer's an old dude.
There's videos of him, like, they're asking star players on his defense, has Zimmer ever yelled at you? And they're like, yeah, he yelled at me 25 minutes ago.
Curmudgeon. He's a curmudgeon.
Yeah, you kind of want that curmudgeon-y old fucking dude who doesn't give a shit about.
But you have, because there's also dudes that yell to yell, and you're just like, oh, fucking let him yell.
Yeah, you don't respect the people who are just barking at you.
Yeah, but if you respect them, which the dude's done it in the NFL, And after, like, Dan Quinn was a buddy-buddy guy, right? And I'm fine with the buddy-buddy, but it's like maybe the players are ready for someone to be like, you did this wrong. You did this wrong. You have to fix this.
Yeah, so yelling and cutting are two massive differences. Obviously, a defensive coordinator isn't going to cut. When Jimmy Johnson cut the players back in the early 90s, different type of era, and he was the head coach.
Oh, for sure.
And he had full control. So that was me saying that.
Yeah,
Zimmer's not going to be able to go and be like,
Zimmer can't cut anyone.
Yeah, well, you didn't say that. I'm just like, yeah, you're sitting these plays. You're not going out there. He absolutely has the ability to do that.
Well, that brings 7 in nicely. That's a good segue.
7.
7.
So what has Jerry Jones been able to gain from having Jimmy Johnson on his advisory board? Johnson revealed that during a recent radio interview, it might not mean much, but it'll be interesting to hear what Jones has thought about bouncing ideas off Johnson and who else is on the board.
I mean, as far as his interview during the playoff game where he was losing it at halftime, have you guys seen that? Where Jimmy Johnson's fucking going nuts?
Yeah.
Bring him on. I don't care what his role is. Just get him back here.
Yeah.
Just get him back here. I don't even care what his role is. But that fire, obviously the guy still has a soft spot for Dallas. Obviously, like it's like any of these Dallas Cowboys alum that were around for the 90s success. I would rather put them on the field than some of the players.
You look at someone like Jimmy Johnson, and he probably thinks back to it and says, like, yeah, could I have won 3 additional Super Bowls if I would have stayed with Dallas?
Probably.
Like, what could we have done? Right? Like those are those outlying questions or those outlying things that kind of, beat in his heart.
Yep. Guys, what do you think?
I think Jerry Jones.
Ooh, fight between the two fucking.
Well, you guys figure it out. Crack if you got him.
No, crack him if you got him. Technically, I was going to go first, but AJ's on a delay, so probably he went first. And it just took a little while to get here. So go ahead, AJ. Go ahead.
So
all right, I'll take this one. The history with Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson. Let's say there are some issues with Jerry Jones holding things up or being a stick in the mud, just for this kind of
for this exercise.
So, for this exercise, the history and the time. And the history that they have, even if they're rivals, time will heal all wounds. And sometimes when you're 80 years old, your rival is the person who ends up knowing you the best or who you're actually the closest to, right? Like these guys have an important history, especially for Dallas Cowboys. And so having Jimmy Johnson in the room, maybe Jimmy's not going to be there to provide like any sort of great football knowledge, right? But maybe he's the guy who's there who's going to be able to help push Jerry in the right direction. And so that's a big benefit. And that's all laying on if Jerry actually still is utilizing that full power that he has.
Bootsy?
Well said. Well, first of all, crack him if you got him.
Crack him if you got him. Get him in, yeah. Grab a Chang, Boots.
To answer the question, what has Jerry Jones been able to gain? Love from the fans. I mean, Jimmy Johnson is just so well beloved by everybody, and it's been long overdue for him to be affiliated. I mean, like Ant said, I don't care what position he has. He could be the freaking towel boy, water boy. I don't care. Get him out there. He's so passionate. He has so much knowledge, and there are very few people on walking this earth that have more knowledge than Jimmy Johnson. Yes, he hasn't been a coach for so many years, but he's been an analyst. He's watching the game. He's watching film every single day. The guy is just oozing knowledge, and we need that. And at the same time, if I'm working McDonald's and I see, Jerry Jones driving up in his G-Wagon, I'm throwing some extra salt on his fries. I mean, he deserves at least that. I mean, come on. You gotta love the guy for doing that.
More salt.
He'll come back. He'll loop back around and he'll come back through the drive-through because
I noticed you missed my salt package.
I noticed you missed that extra salt, and I mean,
sir. I saw your order of salt with a side of fries.
You know how there's people that complain about like the heat of their food. Jerry doesn't care. It could be cold. It could be ice cold.
Well, he never.
As long as there's a nice thick layer of salt on that.
Jerry Jones.
The salt preserves it.
Yeah, just get it.
Jerry Jones does not eat his food right away. He'll like set it and forget it. He'll buy it and then like 35.
So he marinates his food instead of marinating in sauce. It's just like,
hey, it's
he cuts open a salt shaker and then plastic bags a piece of chicken and then just full shaker of salt.
Oh yeah, Jerry Jones has too much stuff to do that he knows I don't think he's ever eaten a warm meal.
Jerry, what's your favorite rub? Salt.
Salt. Really?
Naturally.
Naturally.
Come
Okay,
on.
so number
And,
8.
everything I get is all from preservatives. So
all preservative,
you know it's
baby.
gonna be. You know it's gonna be good.
Number 8, which
That's just some billionaire shit, guys. We wouldn't understand.
no, we wouldn't. It's like they just salt each other's
Well,
buttholes.
what do we got? We got who's that? Warren Buffett eats a McDonald's sausage and egg or McMuffin every single morning, and Jerry Jones eats White Castle just doused in salt. I mean, that tells you right there that if you want to be a quad billionaire, you gotta fucking eat fast food.
Yeah, definitely. And salt it.
Number 8.
Is there a real interest in signing a veteran running back, guys? I'm not even going to read it.
We don't need to read it.
I'm going to lead this out. What do you guys think?
We kind of talked about it at the start.
Yes.
AJ does not want an $8 million plus running back.
And that's where I think the question isn't, are we interested in a veteran running back? It's what amount do you want to allocate funds to sign a veteran running back? I think that's the more important thing. Of course, I would love a veteran running back, one that's going to instantly start for the Cowboys and have success, but at how much? So a value, AJ already gave himself an $8 million plus minus. Do you guys kind of have a feel?
Yeah.
Like you got to think TP20 was what, 11 on the franchise last year?
Yep. So, and based on the running back market, I think you could go a little bit lower. Like I'm a $9 to $10 million range for signing someone for at least. If they're saying all in, you could sign someone for a 1-year deal, $9 to $10 million. They probably won't take it. So you're
I was going to say, do you think a running back's going to
I don't think so.
One of the premier running backs isn't going to play on a 1-year deal.
It's odd because we last year where they're like these running backs had their like running back committee to try to like, hey, we want to start our own within the players union. We want to start our own running back union,
like a gang,
running back gang, you know. But you know, I am for signing a running back who is a veteran for a decent amount of change.
Quadzilla. I know WayJ loves Quadzilla.
Oh, WayJ loves Quadzilla.
Like this is why I like drafting AJ Dillon. Is there's been I was listening to EJ Savage, and one thing that he brought up is he wasn't so stoked on AJ Dillon's performance in the red zone, I believe, or short game. Something that was like relevant to this type of size of back that you want. That replacement for Zeke Elliott, essentially, right? No shame on Tony Pollard. But I believe that it's a little bit harder to judge AJ Dillon. He was running behind AJ Jones. Or
Aaron Jones. His middle name could be James.
Could be James. So, but he was running behind Aaron Jones. So, like, who do you think's going to get that red zone or short game? It's going to be Aaron Jones 9 times out of 10, right? So, and the other reason that I like bringing in a big body back like Dillon, and he's young, he's a veteran. We'll see what type of market value goes for. But I'm thinking you could get him. Great Quadzilla. I'm thinking you can get him for on the cheap. But I think that also allows then for a more versatile option group of running backs in the draft in those later rounds, where you can go out and find that Tony Pollard replacement and not have to rely on getting the big back. The big back's a necessity for an NFL team.
It showed it last year.
Yeah.
Divine Gun says Dillon would be good. Dillon would be good behind Pollard though. So
yeah, but Pollard's not on the team this year.
You don't think
unless
so?
he takes a substantial pay cut under $8 million. I'm with this factor of price. And someone's going to pay probably Tony Pollard more than the Cowboys are willing to.
Who might already have that kind of
guy.
power back.
Boots, what's your monetary value right now on a running back for one of these vets?
8 to 9 million.
Yeah,
is what's going the market. It's still going market. That's what
I think. That's
someone's going to give that to Derrick Henry. Someone's going to give that to Saquon. Someone's going to give that. Well,
to Tony Pollard.
Josh
probably
Jacobs probably going to stay in Vegas. But Pollard probably get about 7 or 8. But I don't think the Cowboys should give it to him. I mean, honestly, would it be sort of surprise to anybody if the Cowboys move up and trade up to get like a Jonathan Brooks or a Trey Benson from Florida State? These bigger back size guys that kind of a Marion the Barbarian type of running backs that can come in and even produce if the offensive line isn't where it's supposed to be.
Boots, you can only say it, you almost made me jizz in my pants here. You can say, if you say 3 things I love in a sentence, it's happening. Trey Benson, Marion Barber in the same sentence. I'm feeling you here.
What's the third one?
I agree. Anything that I would have just been Des Bryant. Bah! But
Sean Lee.
Sean Lee. I agree with you though. A Trey Benson. I would rather that.
I mean, remember when we got Zeke?
Exactly. I mean,
we got Zeke pretty early, and people didn't really see that happening.
So
low key, I think Marion Barber, I think, is Ant's favorite Cowboys running back.
He's my top 5 favorite Dallas Cowboys.
Who's your number 1?
Emmitt Smith.
I wasn't in that era Boots yet. If I had to go, like if I had to break down my favorite Cowboys, I started watching in like hardcore watching in 2006.
Deuce Vaughn, baby.
Deuce Vaughn, the Deuce. I'd probably say Des Bryant's my all-time favorite Dallas Cowboy. Just off the field shit he does, like how he was as a player. Like that guy was just Des Bryant, but Marion Barber's up there for sure. DeMarcus Ware,
Michael Irvin. Irvin for me.
I guarantee it. If I was if I was watching football when I was 7 years old and I was a diehard fan, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin would have been right up on the list. Guaranteed.
Deion Sanders. Sanders.
Yeah, right. Deion. So, but you're right there. So, I mean, we're all in agreement here with the running back situation. I would rather address it in the draft personally, unless you can get one of those top 5 guys for under 8 million. I think as CanFan, we're kind of setting that as a.
I still think that
I
still think we need to get some veteran running back brought in on the team.
Yeah. AJ Dillon, $6 million.
Yep. $6 million. You think you could get AJ Dillon for $6 million?
Fucking rates, I do. I think you might even get him for less.
Yep.
To be honest.
Ooh.
So number 9, what expectations for Mozzie Smith in year 2?
Ooh.
Who wants to lead out that?
The highest of expectations.
Who wants AJ who's leading that out? That's a loaded question. That is a loaded question. Yeah, high. Just be good.
That's all I have to say.
Just be good. That's a loaded question.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah, prove CanFan wrong.
Prove us wrong.
Because right now we're up here and we're like one of those guys like, and I hate fans that when they're right about something, like Dak Prescott throws an interception at the end of the game, they're like, I told you Dak sucks. It's like, but you should be hoping that you're wrong.
See?
Like I would have rather been the fan being like, oh, we were completely wrong about Mozzie Smith.
Well, that's like Deuce Vaughn and AJ. AJ's like, it's not going to happen. I'll buy the jersey.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, but I would happy to be wrong.
Yeah. Be happy to be wrong.
But Deuce Vaughn, 6th round pick, not like nothing.
This is your round one pick.
Round 1 pick.
Ad and I look like we're karate chopping right now.
Round 1 pick.
I always look over because this is the thing. I'm usually on the couch. I don't have screens, so I don't see. Every time I look over, Ad and I are karate chopping, pointing at something.
Because when it's not you here, it's AJ this.
Pen dabbing.
I think if Mozzie Smith is not a starter by week 1, he's not going to be here next year.
That's
I think
fair.
he gets cut.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, absolutely, it's fair. And this is the sorry, go ahead, AJ.
Go ahead.
No, fuck you. You go ahead.
Fucking one of you guys talk.
I was gonna say I hope that's what the Cowboys do. Like that's what you want is like it's okay to be wrong. It's worse that you hang on to this like dying stock of player here and then cripple yourself because you're just not willing to admit, yeah, that was bad. Let's move on. You know, we're not looking for perfection, right? We're looking for one hit a year is awesome. 2 hits is phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree
Tyler
more.
Smith. Hit.
Great hit. Great hit.
Mr. O'Shea says, I'd be shocked if they do not get an interior defensive lineman in the draft, but I'd guess that Zimmer has Smith as a rotation guy playing the second interior.
Well, and that's pretty much if they do draft a defensive tackle in the top 3, they're almost admitting that they fucked up with Mozzie Smith.
Yep.
They're already saying, we know that our run defense is lacking. We still don't think Mozzie's the fix. We're going to throw some resources at this again. And it could be in rounds 1 to 3. There's a lot of good defensive tackles. And it's pretty much saying if Mozzie then ends up still becoming a decent player in the NFL, now that's just all extra and good. But if they do draft, in my mind, if they draft a defensive tackle in the first 3 rounds, they're almost admitting that Mozzie is not that dude, in my mind.
And I'm okay with that. I'd rather
okay
have
with that
someone
too.
that realizes, hey, you know what? We effed up. We're gonna, cut the bleeding and stop the bleeding right now, and we're gonna just go ahead and move on from this guy. But at the same time, Zimmer can probably come in. He's like, look, Mozzie, you know what? You were Dan Quinn's guy. You're not my guy.
Yep.
You're out.
Well, and so the big thing with Mozzie, before we move on, there was a lot. He came in, or at draft day or during the combine, he was 323 pounds. In the playoffs against the Green Bay Packers, he was listed under 300 pounds. So he lost 30 pounds, and everyone was like, well, the Cowboys got him to lose weight. And then it came out that no one's ever said for him to lose weight. It just might be the pace of the NFL, the extra games, the extra training regimen. So he's got to learn how to, and this is why you see a lot of guys, they retire from the NFL and they end up shedding like 40, 50, 60, 70 pounds. Part of his job is to stay at 330, 320, like that float in that range.
But he it's not like, and the benefit, you would think that as you get tinier or slimmer, you get faster.
Yeah, but
he was also the slowest guy off the line.
But yes, good call.
So like the way it is one of those things where, like you said, players have adjustments. Okay, I get it. Fine. Fucking figure it out this whole off season. You had an entire year. You got that first year under your belt. Now it's time to show up and prove it. And that's like, it kind of goes back to, we like the idea of saying like, we like the idea when someone says, oh, I don't even like football. I just like hitting people. It's like, okay, cool. We got a dog. Fucking where is that? Like, you want to win these games. You don't want to just hit people. Obviously that was a soundbite he was saying, but
hit the right person.
Hit the right person. And are you mentally in there? Do you understand what it's going to take to be at that level? Right. You're from Michigan.
The exciting thing, I'd say two of the rookies from last year that I'm excited for, obviously Overshown. We're all ecstatic. But Mozzie, like, let's see, is your sophomore season? Like, it's like that chick, freshman year, whatever. Sophomore season, she rolls in, and all the seniors are looking, right? So we'll see. We'll see if Mozzie ends up being that sophomore girl, I guess. But boosted on, I want to see him come into camp at like 340 pounds.
Yeah, give me more Mark Henry. Like,
juice it up.
Were you mad that people were saying that you look like Mark Henry?
Juice it up.
Fucking get a Jones, dog. Get a Jones.
We thought we saw a fucking bombshell of a question with the last one, but number 10, what are the expectations for Trey Lance? Fellas, like that was 10.
Boots, you got to start this one off.
How much time you got? Jeez. I mean, obviously, we expect him to come in as a day one starter. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, I think we're going to see him play a lot in preseason. They're going to try to build him up, make him look really, really good, and then tell people, hey, you need a backup? I got your guy right here. And they'll put him up on the market, and they're going to trade him for some piece that we need, because as good as Trey Lance can possibly be, he's not going to do any better than Cooper Rush for us.
Do you think he'll beat out Cooper Rush there, Boots?
No.
Well, so right now, Cooper Rush isn't under contract. So Cooper Rush right now isn't even on the Cowboys roster. Well, he is, but he isn't, right? Like he's a free agent.
Because they did 1 year at what, 10 or 11 million last year?
No,
he's coming back.
You think he'll get him?
He's coming back.
I think he was a couple
years. Comfortable.
He was a 2 year, like 5 a year. You're right. Okay. I think he was like 10, 11, but I think it was 2 years.
Okay. So
there's a handful of players in the NFL that are making millions to just sit on the bench and do nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, like the idea of having that backup quarterback, like that is like an important role for your starting quarterback. Not like, hey, if this quarterback goes down, this guy's going to come in. That backup quarterback needs to gel with your starting quarterback. So when a team can identify a solid player, let's say like Cooper Rush to a Dak Prescott, and they gel as a team, they're gonna want to keep that team member. However, because Jerry does what Jerry wants, having Trey Lance in the mix, and if Cooper Rush is out of contract, do they put, for the sake of it, whether or not they're trying to bait people in for some trade value, or they're trying to say, hey, I was right about Trey Lance, move him into that second tier slot? Who knows? I mean, that I think is going to be the story kind of going into training camp. What is Trey Lance going to do? And if Trey Lance starts looking good in training camp, you better fucking believe Cowboys Nation is going to be all over our ass saying, Trey Lance, let him start. Let him start. He has one good preseason game.
They're already like that.
I know, and he hasn't even fucking took a snap.
I mean, realistically, in a perfect world, Trey Lance is the savior, but right now, even moving on from Dak Prescott without him having a different contract, you're still. But the way I look at it isn't even really quarterback play. It's like even if Trey Lance is the best of the best, he's gonna match what Dak did in the season last year, right? But if you get rid of Dak, you're still going to be allotted the amount of money that you owe Dak Prescott the next couple of years, right? So we're in a weird spot. This is for Cowboys fans, this Trey Lance thing ain't leaving.
It's a weird, because they haven't really addressed it that much, and Jerry did it as a splinter cell
by himself,
a splinter cell unit, fucking rolling around on the floor, salting his fucking burgers and making fucking deals. This will be interesting to see how it plays out, and then hopefully we're like, oh, now it makes sense, but I just don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
What do you think,
Well,
Stat
the
Boy?
only time I ever want to see Trey Lance on the field is if, fourth quarter, we're up 30 points and Dak is chilling on the sideline drinking some Gatorade while Trey Lance is out there playing some garbage time. But other than that, I don't ever want to see him or Cooper.
It's funny that you bring that up, Boots, because I actually had a couple people bring this exact comment up. It's like, they're like, well, when the Cowboys were smashing out these teams, why were they putting in Cooper Rush instead of Trey Lance? And it's like, because Trey Lance couldn't beat out Cooper Rush as the 2. He wasn't even allowed to play unless both those quarterbacks were injured and off the field. And people don't understand that. They see the 3 quarterbacks and they're like, they think all of them are interchangeable, right? No.
Yeah.
Trey Lance didn't beat out Cooper Rush one time last year to even be the QB2. And that's what makes me nervous. And people are like, the 2 things. Why didn't he get a play instead of Cooper Rush when the Cowboys were blowing out teams? And, well, what about Jordan Love but behind Aaron Rodgers? It's like, both those are irrelevant. One, Cooper Rush was the QB2. And then with the Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love thing, Jordan Love never got traded off his team. Jordan Love never got traded off his original drafted team, and then the team that drafted him couldn't go up the depth chart, right? Like, they're just such different arguments that people like to throw in there. But this guy got drafted in the first round and he just beat the Cowboys. It's like, but it's a completely different situation. So I don't know.
Right.
The
Cooper
Trey
Rush
Lance
knows the playbook inside and out. So
the Trey Lance thing is going to be and Cowboys Nation right now is fist on fist right now.
Well, everyone's angry and everybody wants some sort of like answer, and obviously they think having like that, like Dak's the problem with the whole team. Jerry Jones is the problem with the whhole team. So it's like, it's easy for us to like stand off and look at an organization, look at the team and say all of these fucking things, but we don't know what's going on inside the organization. And we're not at every fucking practice. We see some open practices, we see training camps, but we don't get to see the intricacies all week long on what's going on. And like you said, if Trey Lance was the guy, why would they not move him up the depth chart?
Yeah, he's not. He's not the guy. That's why. Okay, guys, that was fun. Those top 10 things. I mean, it's a good way to go into stuff. But tomorrow, a big event in the NFL starts off. It kicks off the NFL Combine, which is the first look for a lot of teams and live to scout a bunch of players. And I have a few articles that I thought would just be fun to go through about the Combine. And tomorrow starts off with linebackers, DTs, but the first article we have up is 2024 NFL Combine, bold predictions, Texas defensive tackle.
This is the worst article ever. Like, it's just one fucking line of text.
No, it just didn't load. I don't know what happened here.
Hey, just while you're figuring this out, just a quick stat boy.
Yeah, stat boy it up.
I believe Cooper Rush is signed in 2024. That's what I'm reading.
Oh wow! I thought he was an unrestricted.
I did as well, but even if I'm wrong, this stat's still fun. Over 8 million in cap spaces dedicated to the second and third string quarterback in Dallas.
Wow.
8 million.
5 mil.
No, I got free. I just Googled unrestricted free agents, Dallas Cowboys, and Cooper Rush came up as one of them.
Okay, then this website's probably wrong. It's I'm on that Spot Track website.
That's what I just went to click after. But when I went free agents, it Showing me Dalton Schultz.
Well,
So don't go with that either. Then
Don't go with what Ant just Googled.
I'm going on DallasCowboys.com right now. Let me do a quick little deep dive.
Let me do a quick boost since Ant's link didn't fucking load.
Yeah, my link didn't load.
Hey, Ad, before you hop to any comments, if that's what you're gonna do, Trey Lance is a 5.3 million cap.
AJ, you might be right. On DallasCowboys.com, I just went down and he's not on there.
Yeah. Did you guys read Divine Gun's comment about Cooper Rush being our day one starter?
What if Cooper Rush was our day one starter, LOL, and we spend the $60 million on defensive and our weapons for Rush? So I'm thinking defensive and rush and running back.
I mean, it would be fun to do in Madden.
Right?
It would be fun to do in Madden.
I mean, I don't want to see it, but I mean, I kind of want to see it.
Yeah, I don't want to see it in real life, but like if I could see it, if I could do it in Madden,
let's simulate this, bitch.
Yeah,
Go.
I'd like to simulate it.
You take all of that, you shore it up with fucking $60 million worth of dogs, and then you're just like, okay, let's see if they can win the fucking bowl.
And then they do.
And you're like, oh my goodness.
My biggest worry is if they ever move on from Dak Prescott, whatever team he goes to, they're winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's just, and I just couldn't live with that.
Don't even say that.
The problem with simming in Madden, because I'm a nerd and I watch a lot of people go through dynasty modes in Madden, is the Dallas Cowboys often win a Super Bowl in 2024 or 2025.
Okay, then we'd have to play every game.
Yeah,
we'd have to take the sim out and we'd have to play the games. I have to piss, so I will be back.
Ant's gone. Mr. O'Shea 81 says if that happens, Dallas gets top pick next year. So if you trade Dak, I mean, actually, like if you're in there right now and you're, what type of draft capital would you get for trading a Dak Prescott to? Well, sorry, Dak has a no trade clause. So let's say Dak, let's say he removes it. Let's say he's like, hey, I'm open to talking to another team, or I want to go to the Bears, or I want to go here, or whatever. What would you want for a Dak Prescott? This is a fun fact since Ant's not here, so he's not going to yell as I ask that question.
I'm gonna want 3 number ones. I want your number one pick for the next 3 years.
Well, what about that?
I like that.
Yeah, number one for the next 3 years. But would you maybe even go like, you want maybe for this year? So if we're in a win now mode, you want your first round this year, but even a couple other picks for this year.
Well, for example, like we got the Las Vegas Raiders, right? They don't really have a quarterback, but they have a really good running back. So I would say, like, look, give me your number one pick this year, next year, and I want Josh Jacobs, and you get Dak Prescott.
So Alex is going to answer.
No, I heard what you said. Don't think I can't come back and yell.
Were you wearing headphones
he
the whole
stopped
way?
midstream.
I heard
it was like midstream, and he's like,
I heard everything you said.
Okay, so Statboy, go ahead and you give it, and then I'll ask Ant that question.
Well, at first I was on board with the 3 number ones. I mean, that's a hefty price, but you make a very good point. I'd be looking for, honestly, give me your first, second, and third round. Like, I'd be greedy as much. I would do the Madden thing, just for keeping that Madden combo going. And I would just keep, how about a first and second, third? No? How about first, second, and fourth? No? I just moving down until I get like the best combination. And a player like Bocci said, like finding a player to come as well would be awesome. It's a very risky move, though, in today's NFL to not have a top 15 quarterback.
Totally.
I'm just saying top 15 in general. Dak is, I think, top 10 and arguably top 5.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, this year he was in contention to be top of the league. He was versus Lamar Jackson for that MVP. I mean, Josh Allen got that one vote, but Dak Prescott was right there at the head-to-head race. And my question was, if you were to trade, Dak's given the green light to trade, what type of trade would you take as the Dallas Cowboys for Dak Prescott to trade him out of the Dallas Cowboys?
I think if you got a first and a second this year, actually, I'm going to go first and second this year and a first and second next year.
Ooh, a 1 and 2 this, 1 and 2.
And you know what? Even to me, that might be too steep because again, you're not guaranteed. You're putting all one of those things. If you're trading a first round pick this year, is it in the spot that you're planning on drafting a quarterback, or are you planning on going into the season with Trey Lance? Right. So, and if you draft a quarterback in the first round, then it just seems like the Trey Lance trading the fourth for him was weird. So I would need a lot. I would need a lot for Dak Prescott. And I know a lot of people think differently, but
So just a follow-up question before we go on to that thing. Divine Gun says, who can Dak win with next year, though? So let's say, what teams would want Dak Prescott that think that they could be in the winning spot? You said it before, Falcons.
Detroit.
You think Detroit?
Yeah, I think they could win. You put Dak Prescott behind that offensive line, and they're winning the Super Bowl.
I think the Falcons for 100%, man.
Yeah, but I mean, Detroit still has Goff. Goff probably still has another year or two into him. Like, imagine
Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts,
who's the
stud wide receiver in Atlanta.
And we know Dak Prescott loves his tight ends. It's his safety blanket.
I mean, Atlanta, if they traded for
he's not leading Fergie.
No, Dak Prescott's the quarterback though. Fun exercise, but
it's like the Marvels what ifs, you know.
So we got the 2024 NFL Combine
ifs.
bold predictions. Texas, and this is just fun. Not too much to do with Dallas Cowboys, but it has a little Texas. But this is just to get us some names for tomorrow's opening of the Combine. So tomorrow they have defensive tackles and linebackers. And Chris Trapasso from CBSSports.com thinks that Byron Murphy has a better workout than some of the linebackers, plus much more. So we're just going to scroll down and see some of the fun stuff that they predict's going to happen in the NFL Combine. So Oregon State, Anthony Gold runs the fastest 40-yard dash at his position. So this is just fun for us to have some of the players that we might have not talked about. I know we haven't talked about Anthony Gold at all, but just by this guy talking about how fast he is, he's a burner. So 6 foot and under 109 pounds, this guy is a burner. So that's one of the fun things. BYU, offensive tackle, Kingsley, AJ, give me that name.
Oh, man, I can hardly read it. Sumataya.
Yeah,
you guys both said it the same way.
Sumataya.
Workout approaches Tristan Wirfs, and on what they mean by that is on film, it looks like he's one of the most athletic, gifted blockers in his class at slightly over 6'4", 329 pounds.
He's a unit.
He's a big guy.
Unit.
He at the Combine, he'll show he has the physical tools to be a starter with immense upside at a premier position in today's NFL. What else do we got? And then this is where it goes. So Texas defensive tackle Byron Murphy, who is obviously a big boy, has a 3-cone drill, which is what they like to rate speed on for players more in that position than a 40. They're saying he has a drill faster than some of the linebackers. So you got to think this dude, this Byron Murphy, a guy that could go to the Cowboys possibly in the second round.
Mr. O'Shea saying I'm super high on Murphy. I hope Dallas takes him.
Exactly. And this guy proves he is a wheel and deal unit.
So he can sustain that burst deep into the backfield, and his loose hips, that's what AJ likes, loose hips, and flexibility allows him to change directions when attempting to corral passers on running backs alike.
Yeah, man. He's a physical specimen. Murphy is that talented of a physical specimen.
Actually, so look at that last one there. So last year, Pittsburgh's Kalijah Cansey ran a blistering 4.67 at a hair over 6 foot and 287 pounds. Murphy should be heavier than Cansey was, yet if we get a full workout from Texas Star, he'll run somewhere in the low 4.7s with a vertical well over 30 inches.
That's crazy.
Man, this guy's a tank.
He's a tank. Yeah. Should we get a draft buzz on him?
Oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna click out of here.
No, just keep it. Just leave it.
Hey.
Just let it happen.
I'm not gonna lie.
You don't like
I'm already on draft buzz, baby.
AJ, as soon as you're bringing up these names, AJ's been draft buzzing it, son.
Byron Murphy, I'm pretty sure he's at Clemson. From Clemson, isn't he?
So those of you tuning in right now,
Texas.
We have some massive. We have to get eyes on these guys, on these prospects.
What's happening here?
I don't know.
Like we can't see AJ's location, but he's got like 2 of the screens. He's got the Senior Bowl going on behind on this side. He's got other mocks going on the left side. We don't see it, but that's what's going on over there.
That's how AJ does.
Byron Murphy to me is a G. He also has a really nice. I mean, all college players when we wear these shirts look like this, but he's got a very young car salesman vibe. Maybe it's like his first couple months on the job. He sold a couple cars, but he needs to button up that shirt.
Yeah, you got to
Hey, and if I
And you'll
can,
know what I'm talking about. See him.
if I can briefly just give CanFan your flowers, I mean, you guys have come such a long way from before not even paying attention to the draft, and you guys would be like, "Hey, who's that? Who's that? I don't know. I don't watch college," and now it's like you guys are dug in. I love it.
Boots.
Hey, man.
Go ahead, AJ.
Oh, it's Boots. It's dudes like you we've met along the way who just keep us inspired to. Honestly, we could sit back as Canadians and just watch the Dallas Cowboys play. We're not really entrenched in college football, so this is a little bit of an extra effort, especially in our early 20s, late 20s here. So.
Yeah, I can't believe we're all turning 24 next year.
Man, 25 next year. Woo! Hey,
and you and Adam and Anth are brothers. So how are they turning 24 together?
It just
Twins.
identical.
Twinning.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and what's his name?
Yeah,
Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Twins.
Who's Danny DeVito?
I'm obviously Danny DeVito.
Obviously,
he's Swartzy. He's Swartzy.
So look at Byron Murphy. I like the looks. What kind of what do we got for size though? Like this. Okay, here we go. 6'1", 308. So this is the crazy thing. Like Mozzie at draft day was 6'3", 323. Did he ever seem that size?
No.
Hey, did you guys notice the birthplace?
DeSoto.
Are you guys familiar? Do you know what that means?
No.
DeSoto, Texas.
Let us know.
DeSoto, Texas is like the birthplace of football. If you've ever watched like Friday Night Lights or Varsity Blues, and like that's exactly Varsity Blues is probably the best example of DeSoto, Texas, where everyone there, like from the second you can walk, they're already putting them in like little kindergarten football leagues and things like that. And then like there's a lot of ex-Cowboy players that go back and coach high school football in DeSoto, and they're every single year they're winning the Texas championship and things like that. So I mean, the fact that he's from there, this guy was
born and bred
to play football.
Football's a way of life.
Jonathan Moxon, the quarterback for the West Canadian Coyotes, he did not want to play football.
He didn't want football. I don't
was
want
not
your
his
life.
life. It was not his life. Okay, I like Byron Murphy though, guys. I do like that. So Texas defensive tackle, we talked about him, I think. And okay, North Carolina State, and this is AJ's boo. North Carolina State linebacker Peyton Wilson has a better workout than some of the wide receivers.
Oof.
That is a bold statement. This dude is 6'4", high 200s, and they're predicting that he has a better workout than some wide receivers. Does that not tickle your undercarriage a little bit?
Oh yeah. That puts me from an Edgerrin Cooper guy to Peyton Wilson.
Well, Peyton Wilson, it was the first guy that we kind of talked about in our DMs, and he's climbing. He's climbing
slipping into our D's, slipping into our
Well,
DMs.
this dude. So there's a couple guys that we've been high on, and not just linebackers, but running backs. Trey Benson, who Boots brought up.
What are we?
We're high.
Can you take me
higher? But Peyton Wilson, a guy that we've been talking about for a few months, to be honest, and then Trey Benson. But North Carolina State linebacker Peyton Wilson has a better workout than some linebackers. And this is a dude that gets paid to
wide
write.
receivers. Some wide receivers.
I don't know what I even said.
You
But
said
I like it.
linebackers.
I like
You
it.
were so high on Peyton Wilson that you couldn't even talk.
I do it all the time. And I like when I get called out because there's sometimes I rewatch or re-listen to the show and I say something that doesn't even make sense and no one calls me out on it.
He's like, oh, they just must be respecting me.
They're respecting me. So Tennessee QB Joe Milton throws the ball 80 yards in the air.
I've been obsessed with Milton's arm since he stepped foot on college campus. Okay, relax.
Creepy.
Fucking lax.
Creepy. It's like it's in Slackers where he's making a hair doll out of the dude.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought Adam was Adam was just saying what he was thinking at first. I can't read the article, and I was like, okay.
Listen what he says here, though. While he was unfathomably scattershot during his time at Michigan, his accuracy was reined in after transferring to Tennessee. Sorry, AJ, you were going to say something while I had to talk about the Michigan Wolverines.
No, on PFF, Milton shows up available to the Cowboys in like a couple rounds. So, I mean, we do not need a quarterback. So get someone needs to get Jerry Jones some salt if he starts talking about that. But
Yeah, pound sand, Milton. So that was some of the fun ones we talked about. But Boots, as far as the combine, how much do you pay attention to the combine?
Very little. Very little. I mean, I'll read headlines here and there to see what's going on. Sometimes there's stats that you know, they jump at you because someone's super fast, like the refrigerator guy on wheels that we just saw earlier.
Right.
But a lot of that stuff does not translate to the NFL. Like that guy with 80 yards. Okay, cool. Baker Mayfield threw 75, 80 yards in the combine as well. But can he throw 80 yards accurately? Yeah,
Facts.
you know, so a lot of these stats, they're just out there to grab your attention. At the end of the day, I always go back to Patrick Mahomes, where he didn't even get a visit from Kansas City. No one even talked to him. They never even mentioned him because they were so afraid that if they talked him up, somebody else is going to snatch him. So a lot
Snatch
of
and
times,
grab him. Snatch and grab Patrick Mahomes.
snatch and grab, and that's what they did. And I feel like a lot of teams are doing that now. So a lot of times when I read the Cowboys talking about a certain player, I'm just like, okay, we're not getting him.
Yeah, it's smoke and mirrors. And that a lot of the draft process is smoke and mirrors. Like you'll hear about this player, that player, and then it's just nowhere near. I just pictured Patrick Mahomes getting abducted out of his room. Just like Kermit.
I'm here.
Leave me alone. But
well, hang on. So I got a quick question.
Yeah, get some chat. Get some chat.
No, not a quick question from chat. This is a personal, selfish question.
we don't want to hear that.
So the three top quarterbacks right now in the draft prospects: Caleb Williams, Drake May, and then honestly, I forget the fucking other guy's name.
Who'd you say?
The three top.
Yeah, so give me the two. You said Drake May, Caleb Williams,
and then
JJ McCarthy.
No, JJ McCarthy's looking in the second round.
No, who's saying that?
That's where they're projecting him. It's Jaden. I think it's
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels.
So right
LSU?
now, Jaden, Drake, and Caleb are all not going to be throwing at the combine. What are your guys' thoughts on quarterbacks not throwing at the combine? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Give me a little bit of weight here.
I mean, if you're waiting for a quarterback to throw at the combine, I mean, he has how many years in college football that you could watch? I mean, I think it's a little bit irrelevant, kind of.
Like Mr. Irrelevant?
I don't think it's a big deal that they don't throw. I think it's actually a smart business decision because they're getting drafted on their college tape instead of their combine tape. They'll still have a pro day.
Well, had you watched my episode of the 8 o'clock spot last night, you would have heard me say exactly that, Anth.
Maybe I did.
Maybe you didn't.
Maybe I didn't.
Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. And guys, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm Southern California. I'm a USC fan. I love USC. I don't necessarily love Caleb Williams because he lost two very crucial games over the last 2 years, and it's just he's kind of reminds me of a running quarterback and just kind of like hiding behind a really really good offensive line. But if he goes to a first round, I don't care where he goes, he's gonna end up like. Oh my gosh, like anybody else that goes to like a really bad offensive line is just gonna get demolished and get hurt, and that's pretty much what we're gonna get out of him.
Think of the first round. Think of the first overall pick last year. Carolina goes there.
Bryce Young.
You get Bryce Young. Hasn't been able to do much. Oh, I'll get a double crack him.
Double crack him, baby.
Crack me if you got him, son.
Get that Chang.
Yeah.
Son.
Grab a Chang, son. AJ, what do you think about that?
I mean, everyone's looking for that CJ Stroud, right?
Look, yeah, I think you're right. This is just a business move. Why go in there and even throw? Everything you want to know is on tape. I'm already in the first or second or third position. Like, is Jaden Daniels going to perform so well at the combine that he will move ahead of Drake May? Perhaps. Or, Drake May ahead of Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams makes total sense. Like, there's no point. What the combine really is for those kind of later round guys to showcase their skills.
Yep.
And to be honest, I would much rather. It's always fun to watch a guy break a record or run the fastest 40, but I'm more excited to see the guys who we've all been talking about in these later rounds, where there's some questions where we actually get to see how they perform, because it's not only what they achieve in terms of the results, but it's like, if they come out there and fall flat on their face, do you take that in and use that as a reflection of how they're going to play in big games, right?
Yeah.
A guy that comes out there who's looks like a 7th rounder and just like kills the combine, you're kind of like, okay, this guy's got this fight in him. Like
A
he's
Purdy,
literally
like a Brock Purdy, Mr.
Yeah.
Relevant. A fun
Yeah.
combine stat that goes into Cowboys lore. Tony Romo. No, that says nothing to do with the article yet.
That's 2 players.
What's it to do with the
Okay.
article yet?
And did you write this article?
I wrote this article, but Tony Romo was invited to the combine, but not to showcase anything other than to just throw to wide receivers. Like he didn't have a number on his shirt. He was just there to be in the drills to throw to wide receivers so that the quarterbacks didn't hurt their arms or do anything. Tony Romo was just invited to be one of the throwers.
So then he got drafted on. He's an undrafted free agent, sat for 3 years.
Yep.
And then Parcells is finally like, this Tony guy is
Was the best guy on the roster.
The American game documentary that NFL Films does when he talks about like when they finally said, okay, you're going to be our starting quarterback, and they talk about Bill Parcells, Tony Romo, and Jerry Jones all sitting in the smallest room, knee to knee, negotiating the contract.
Yeah, and they told Romo they were going to give him $1 million or something. He's like, I'll do it for 3.
Yeah, and they liked it.
And they liked it.
Yeah, they
They're
liked that.
He's like, it was the biggest decision of my life. He's like, I had no other option than to just double down on myself, and it paid off. Okay, so 2 players. Now you can kick
now
it.
I can
Now
kick
you can
to it?
kick to
Okay,
it.
sweet.
2 players for the Cowboys. 2 players for Cowboys fans to keep an eye on during the NFL draft. Again, we're just trying to give ourselves a few players that we can kind of watch for and be excited about. So one that AJ actually talked about earlier, didn't know his name, but I knew who he was talking about. You got this cat out of LSU, the Bayou son, and it is wide receiver Brian Thompson Jr. from LSU. And I'm just going to lead out. I'm not going to read anything about it. It's more so for me, the position that the guy plays, and if you guys would be upset if the Cowboys took a guy like this.
I mean, if he's available, I don't think he'll be there by the time it's our turn. But
You think he's gone, Boots?
Yeah, he's gone.
You think
LSU he had a really good year. At LSU.
He had a very good year, and I mean, and again, I like what you said. Any players that you hear are getting talked about are probably the guys that aren't going to be on the team. Because the more you say that, and the more I think about past drafts, the only player I can ever think about that I wanted the Cowboys to draft and they actually did was Ezekiel Elliott. Like I remember watching Zeke shit in 2000. Dude, he had the craziest run up in college football before that draft. I remember I was sitting in a hotel room. I was working out of town. I left work early so I could watch the draft because the Cowboys were picking up 4. And I wanted them to draft Ezekiel Elliott. And when they did, I was actually super excited. But besides that
was the same year that Jalen Ramsey was on the board.
He was 5th. He went 5th,
and we could have had Jalen.
Yep.
And then in the next, and I wanted Jalen so bad because I thought that was a bigger need. And then I liked Derrick Henry. And we could have had Derrick Henry in the 2nd round.
I just saw
and then still got in Dak later.
I know.
And
But there's not a single Cowboys fan after 2016 that was mad about the draft pick of Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott was the best, and the Cowboys were good enough to get to the Super Bowl that year. They were. And you got to think they drafted Ezekiel Elliott to be with Tony Romo. Romo gets hurt. Dak ends up starting. The rest is history. Ezekiel Elliott was the best offensive player in the NFL for the next 2 years. In 2016, 2017, right? Obviously now in again 2020 or hindsight's 2020, Jalen Ramsey and Derrick Henry obviously knock it out of the park. That's a fucking crapshoot. But you also got to look at the team that drafted Jalen Ramsey also traded him away, right?
Yeah.
Jacksonville traded him to LA. So I mean, there's obviously, and then he's on his 3rd team. He's on his 3rd team
in Miami.
He's on his 3rd team already. So
actually.
He's still a force, though.
He is still
He's
very
still one
good.
of the best in the position. So.
But would he still be in Dallas?
Well,
More of the question.
What do you guys think?
Well, let's talk about Brian Thomas.
Since we brought up Miami, though, Xavier Howard being released.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I hope so.
I'd be down.
No,
with
he
that.
was released. Do you think?
No, but I mean, I'd be down with the Cowboys signing him.
Yeah,
for sure.
Over Gilly.
Yeah,
No.
definitely. You don't
No,
think
you
so?
can never have enough cornerbacks.
Yeah, bring
That's
them all
addition
in.
to Gilly.
Well, you're saying bring back both.
I'm saying bring back both for sure.
So wide receiver, Brian Thompson Jr., LSU. Boots doesn't think he's going to be around. AJ, if he's there, are we all in agreement if he's there, we're taking him? Or no?
Look, 100%. If he is there, I would love to take him. Couple stats from Statboy for you. 6'4", 205, runs a 4.4 40, and his average depth in college last season, anyways, was 17.3 yards. He's a nice big body deep threat that I think could really help both Cooks and Lamb hook.
Ooh, I see what you did there. I like that. So our second guy, someone we're familiar with here on the Can Fan podcast.
Edrin Cooper, yes, take him.
Edrin Cooper, linebacker, who we have talked about quite a bit. It's a need.
Yeah.
I ain't mad with either of these guys, honestly.
Big need.
Big need. But the more you hear about this Peyton Wilson cat and possibly being able to get him in the second, and then imagine you get, like, if you can get 2 starters in the first round and the second round.
Oh, yeah.
That's obviously our dream, right? And then a third role player in the third round. That's you knock the draft out of the fucking universe.
Yeah, when we talk, someone used the word hope earlier on in the podcast. You hope you hit on the later round people. You hope you hit on someone in third and fourth round that'll be that starting dog in that year. First and second round guys, you're needing. They have to.
You expect.
These are have to. I don't want to hear one person in chat this upcoming season say, "Oh, they drafted these people for next year." No. There's no drafting for next year. We're drafting for this year. Take them both.
Take them both. Take them both. So we're gonna get on to the next article here. We're speed rounding it now.
We're speed arting it or what?
So this goes back to the draft for the last. Fuck, I keep getting fucked up by your screen.
5 observations from the Cowboys draft picks over the last 10 years.
So I thought this would just be fun to
You have it
bust
close
up.
and low to you. That's probably why.
No, I can't. I get fucked up by. If I'm looking here, I should just scroll up with the mouse to this screen. But I have to go to my right where I don't have anything to my right.
I know. I'll
Ad has it for a second. Ad has it so fucked up. This the monitor that's to my left. I have to swipe to my right to get to it. So my brain doesn't want to do that.
I haven't set it up. It takes 2 seconds to set up the arrangement.
Anyways, doesn't matter.
Because it hasn't been set up this way, we haven't set it that way.
5 observations from the Cowboys draft picks over the last 10 years.
See that? See us fighting there, Bootsy? Don't get fucking angry.
You gotta let my man cook. Just let him drive the Millennium Falcon. Let Adam cook.
Anytime that I'm just like, fuck, whatever he's saying is boring me, I cut him.
You know what? I want that T-shirt. Let Adam cook.
Let Adam cook. I would wear that. So they're just showing the picks. So just let's go over what we have this year. We have a first round pick 24.
Why don't you zoom in over there, fucker?
Because then I'm gonna have to zoom. I fucking hate you. Okay, first round pick 24. Second round pick 56. Third round pick 88. We don't have.
Where's our fourth round pick?
Where's our fourth?
He's sitting third string quarterback. That's where our fourth round pick is.
He's getting Cooper Rush's goddamn water is what he's doing. Fifth round compensatory pick. Roughly, they're saying they're estimating it being around 174. Sixth round, same thing. Roughly around 214. And then we have 2 7th round picks. Not great. Like it's honestly not, to be honest.
Last draft, when they started trading up in rounds to get more, I was like, oh, this is exciting. Hopefully something like that happens this upcoming draft. But
well, I'd be down with trading our third round pick for even a couple fourth round picks, to be honest.
Totally.
It's a deep draft, but let's get down to a dirty business here and see what is this dog shit. This looks like AJ made this. Is this a WayJ?
This is such a WayJ fucking.
So what they're showing here,
I like it.
They're showing all the Cowboys since 2014. They're showing all their rounds, all their picks. Green means good.
White means nothing, and
White
X means no pick.
which is good. And I think green is.
So they're just saying all these picks were great.
Well, they have in 2014. You look at this. You look at 2014.
Boosh it in a little bit for everybody.
That's pretty good right there, isn't it?
Okay, can't see. Boosh it in.
Let's go 2014. Okay, 2014 first round. Zach Martin, pretty damn good.
Yep.
Hall of Famer, not Johnny Manziel. And then they follow that up with goddamn DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah, fuck.
Get the fuck out of here.
What round was D-Law picked in?
Second. Oh, I got to go up a bit.
Yeah, there you go.
So third round didn't have a pick. They moved up to actually get D-Law. Cowboys moved up.
Yeah,
Booshed it.
do that. Boosh it.
And then fourth round pick, Anthony Hitchens, serviceable guy, ended up going to KC for a few years after, was decent. Fifth round, Devon Street, never really did much, and then a bunch of shit in the later rounds.
Who's that green seventh rounder that they picked at the back there?
Terrence Mitchell. No
Guess
idea.
what?
I don't even know what green means. Like, green just seems very good. We're going to just focus on the top 3 picks.
Okay.
2015, Byron Jones was all right. Ended up having one of the most epic missed tackles or missed plays in Cowboys history by not stopping the Cooks from Green Bay in the playoff game. Then you had Randy Gregory, who we all know is a San Francisco 49er. Chaz Green, dog shit. Damian Wilson did a little bit. Ryan Russell, no one knows about him. 2016.
I hate Chaz Green.
Yeah, everyone hates Chaz Green. He's that guy that no one likes.
Well, he gave up like 5 or 6 sacks that game against Atlanta on Thanksgiving. It just ruined my meal.
Got cooked. You know what? We're actually even going to stick to just first rounders, guys. Ezekiel Elliott in 2016. Taco Charlton, one of the biggest busts. One of the biggest. No, boo. You're right, Boots. You put the boo into Boots on that one. 2018 LVE. 2019 no pick because the Amari Cooper trade. 2020
That should be green though. That should still be green.
Should still be green.
Yep.
2020 CeeDee Lamb. 2021 Micah Parsons. 2022 Tyler Smith, and then 2023 Mozzie Smith. So you look at these. You look at the guys we just looked at. That's pretty good batting average.
Well, look at 2020. They have CeeDee Lamb and Trevon Diggs.
And Neville Gallimore still plays.
And Galley.
And Biotish in the fourth.
And then if we look at 2016, you got Zeke, and then you got Dak. So, like, 2020 was a great draft year.
Probably one of the best the Cowboys have had
even
in a long time.
2021 with Osa and Micah, like Osa Odigizua, he wasn't for a third rounder, and for what he was able to do for at least a couple games, not a bad pick either.
And then you go down to 2023, it's just all white.
Oh, look at DB though. look at 2023, all white, absolutely. But 2022,
Hey, John Ridgway, did pretty good for himself at Washington afterwards.
I met his wife. After Thanksgiving when Adam and Alex were wrestling in AT&T parking lot. Adam and Alex were full on wrestling in AT&T parking lot, and this group of Washington fans go walking by, and me and Taylor, who we were with, I see the back. It's all Ridgway, and I was like, "Hey, why are you guys all wearing Ridgway gear?" And the one chick's like, "Oh, I'm his wife." And I said the same thing.
Vanilla Gorilla's wife, nice.
And then I said to her, I was like, "I wish they would have kept him because the guy's a dog. He's a dog.
Yeah,
he's a gorilla.
Dog.
He's a gorilla.
And I mean, she's definitely better looking than what he deserves. But because he's an NFL player, good job, John.
Good job,
Most
John.
NFL players' wives are.
Yeah, I get. I don't even know. I was waiting for something different than
a WayJ fucking stat sheet.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the stat sheet. I thought we were gonna read something here. This shows that
I loved it.
AJ, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
No, there is something. Okay, observation. There was 5 observations. Observation 1. The Cowboys are in line to make some noise in the first 3 rounds. We literally just said that.
Yeah.
Okay, obs 2. Not having a 4th round pick hurts.
Yes. There's a lot of talent that can come up within that 4th round, and not only talent in that 4th round, but the movement that you could use with that 4th round pick. Not having that 4th round pick kind of hurts you.
It hurts you. Observation 3. Using late round picks for proven commodities is the way to go.
So one alarming thing on the graphic, besides the way the graphic looks, is that there's no green in the 2023 row. None at all. Now are these the guys who made their own graphic?
Yeah.
Now, none at all. Now we know it's early and those picks still have time to manifest into good players. Fuck you. But as we can see from other years, it doesn't take long for players to show that they are starter worthy. In 2022, we had a good sense that Fergie, Deron Bland, and Damone Clark were going to be starters soon. Not only were they all starters this past season, 2 of them were Pro Bowlers.
Deron Bland, baby.
Deron Bland, baby.
Not so bland.
We would be hard-pressed to project any type of optimism on any of the last year's draft selections. And when you consider you can almost set your watch to the Cowboys landing 4 starters per draft, it's rather unsettling to come out of a draft with a goose egg. Hopefully this serves more as an anomaly than a new development in their draft evaluations. Observation number 4, last year's draft class was drastically underwhelming. Well, you just fucking spend a whole paragraph talking about that.
we're just going right past that.
Observation number 5, trading their third for a couple of fourths might be the way to go. Did you not say that?
I think I read. I think I did read through this
Oh,
article.
you fucking
I think
cheat.
I read through this article, so that's where I went with it. But I know Stat Boy. I know PF. I know the guy that's done 1,400 PFF drafts already has at some point traded a third for 2 fourths. AJ, is that a good idea?
I think so. And what I've been doing in PFF, by the way, is I've been drafting my 4th round pick, but I go to the very last player on the draft that you can draft. It's a punter. And then that way it doesn't screw up the order by a trade or anything. It's a little bit more fun and accurate.
Because PFF's fucked up by still having the Cowboys drafting.
Well,
4.
give Cowboys Nation, give the CanFan Maniacs some hope. Who are some of the dogs in the 4th round that we could potentially grab if we trade that 3rd round pick?
Well, PFF has Trey Benson in the 4th. So
I mean, like that's the surprising thing when we go through all these mock drafts and we elevate some of these guys to such a high standard, and then when we watch the draft and you see a guy like Joey Porter Jr. drop so far, and you're just like, why is fucking anyone not picking this guy? It is a little, maybe he will be there in the 4th round,
possibly.
But here I'm just pulling up my my list here.
Oh, look at that! His jerk list.
His jerk list.
My jerk list.
His JO list.
So like guys in the 4th, 5th, and 6th and 7th who I like. There's quite a few. There's a running back called Audric Estime from Notre Dame. Just all these guys are bigger body.
Yeah, you don't have to specify that they're big boys. We know you love the big boys.
You're only drafted a big dude.
Yeah, a tackle, Blake Fisher from Notre Dame as well. Bo Lemur is a center from Arkansas. Christian Jones is a tackle from Texas. So there's a lot of offensive, and then a few more guys here. Tyler Davis is a defensive interior, from Clemson. Marcus Harris, defensive interior from Auburn. It's not as good as these are 5th round guys, and one guy I just got to find. 2 running backs who are slated to go late. We'll see if this actually sticks. But Jace McLennan, running back from Alabama, we drafted him with J-Tuck, or talked about him, I believe. And then Isaiah Davis as well. We talked about him with J-Tuck, running back from South Dakota State. So there is
great schools.
If you could trade back and get a cluster of picks from, say, 4th to 6th round, there could be some guys there for us that are worthwhile.
Give me positional in that round. So there's guys, but in the 4th, if we're trading our 3rd for a couple of 4th rounders, what position are you thinking you're grabbing?
Oh, I think you'd have to see what we do in free agency and what we drafted already to really, because at that point it's heavily BPA.
Yeah,
I think you gotta
Yeah,
you gotta kind of.
You're not wrong. You got to go on what you think BPA is. I got a fun little thing that we're gonna finish the episode off with here, guys. CeeDee Lamb a couple years ago showed why he was deserving as a 1st round talent and showed why he is one of the top receivers in the NFL. And this is why the NFL Combine matters, because a dude that has no one lined up against him and he's just a kid, essentially a kid, right? Like he's in his early 20s. And he's showing what he can do to try to get those stacks. But check this out. CeeDee Lamb, NFL Combine.
This was footage that you grabbed from the Combine, right?
I was there.
Whoa.
Oh.
Let's watch that one more fucking time. It shows him 33 over there, but that's an 88 right there, son.
Yeah, you just go like this.
Yeah.
That's add a couple 5s. Let's watch that one more time. Climb that goddamn ladder, CD. Look at this. No one on him. was Tony Romo throwing him that ball? Like that ball was
beautiful.
That was a sail, and CeeDee Lamb climbed the shit out of that. So I always think that the combine, especially for wide receivers, you can show out and you can show up. And I just thought it'd be a good way to finish on that.
What was CD projected to go that year?
Oh, I mean, first round, but 17, I mean, he should have never fallen to 17. You look at wide receivers now, if CeeDee Lamb's coming into this draft, he's gone top 10.
Okay,
Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb aren't making it out of the top 10.
Okay, can you go to his draft year and see who went before CeeDee Lamb?
As far as who? Like players?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do
that guy, the guy from Vegas, what's his name? He killed someone on some DUI.
Oh, Henry
Ruggs. Henry Ruggs. And then the other guy went to Denver, wide receiver.
Judy.
Jerry Judy?
Those two guys.
And then
Jerry Judy and Henry Ruggs went before him.
But here you go. NFL 2020 draft. This is going to show all the players that went ahead of CeeDee Lamb. So, I mean, Joe Burrow. And so the yellow is Pro Bowl. So Joe Burrow, Chase Young, Tua, Justin Herbert, Derek Brown. Then you got Henry Ruggs, Vegas at 12. The first wide receiver taken off the board.
Yep. And then Denver.
Jerry Judy at 15.
Boots, you're fucking...
CeeDee Lamb at 17. And then Justin Jefferson at 22.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you have the other footage of CeeDee Lamb's other greatest hits pre-NFL when he got drafted and his girlfriend tried to take his phone and he was just like...
Yeah. That is epic.
That's how I knew. That's my 88.
Guys, look who's at. Look at a guy we talked about earlier.
Patrick Queen.
28.
Could have had him.
Well,
we'll get him
there's a chance to get
him in this offseason.
And then a guy that's on the Cowboys, Noah Iguodala. That's my best. That's my best go at that, guys. But hey, fellas, that was fun. I had a good time doing that. Boots, always a pleasure having you on. We didn't even know if Travel J was going to be on. We didn't even talk to him, and he just showed up.
Literally 10 minutes before we go live, he's like, "Are you guys doing a show tonight? If so, let me know so I can go get some changs." I'm like, "Yeah, everything's set." Like,
well, the funniest thing is I go to Ad, I was like, "Get rid of Stat Boy. You have Stat Boy on there," and he's like, "Yeah, you just joined."
because exactly. As we're about to announce Boots in, Alex came through, and I was like, "Okay, we'll get both of them coming on. It's easier for me to set him up." But it was good.
So Boots, we know you're doing some stuff. You got some stuff coming up here with who? Give us a little detail of your next couple of weeks, couple months.
Well, next week I got the honor of hanging out with a couple of goats. Luis Garcia from SCDCFC, Southern California Dallas Cowboys fan club. The guy invited me. We're gonna go golfing, and one of the guys that's gonna be part of our 4 people playing is the one Anthony Miller. He got drafted by San Diego, played a couple years over there as a wide receiver. Then he went over to Denver for a few more, and then he ended his career in 1997 with the Dallas Cowboys. So he's going to be joining us. I'm super stoked and pumped. I'm going to see if I can grab some footage and maybe get a little interview from him. I mean, who knows? Maybe I can convince him to join us. So if I FaceTime you guys next Tuesday, answer the damn phone.
Answer with screen record.
Answer the phone and screen record. Yeah, I'm telling you that now from advance, just so I can introduce you guys or something.
I like
That'd be really fun. But that's just like a little practice for April 15th. There's Kenny Gant, the Shark, part of Shark 29 Charities. They got this celebrity golf tournament going on. Yes, that guy right there, two-time Super Bowl champion with the Dallas Cowboys. They're doing a benefit for domestic abuse victims, and so that's going to be on April 15th. And we're going to go out for that as well. I know Cowboys Camp Fan is going to be sponsoring a little tee box out there. So that's going to be really fun. Hopefully we'll get some great footage out there. I'm actually excited. I got new mics and I got new stuff that we can cake out there. So I'm excited to try it out.
Boots, epic.
Boots is AKA Street Team Captain, AKA co-producer, AKA Boots on the motherfucking ground. Dog.
Boots on the. I mean, the name supersides itself. Boots on the motherfucking ground, son. I mean, that would be too much to bot G is how it is, but that's what you are to us.
Some call him San Francisco Boots.
Some call him San Francisco Lay the Boots.
Lay the Boots, yeah. San Francisco Lay the Boots.
Yes, that's a fact. That's a fact. That's behind
legend
baseball,
says.
guys.
That's the legend says.
Well, Boots, we're we're definitely gonna do a roadie to fucking San Fran this year. I think.
Yeah, we're driving
Let's
down.
go.
We're driving
Yeah,
down.
You know I'm going.
Yeah, we'll
You
be
know
there.
I'm gonna-
We'll be at the San Fran game.
We have like a
Oh, for
pack where it's
sure.
like West Coast games. We have to fucking tee it up and go to them.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot coming up besides that. I mean, I'm actually taking it one event at a time, and I'm hoping to see you guys at Oxnard training
Oh,
camp. That
We'll
should
be there.
Hope? There's
super
no
fun.
hope in fucking
It's
training camp.
happening.
We will be there.
We will be there. AJ, what do you got going on over in Asia, buddy? What do you have going on the next couple days here? Drinking a
Just a chill day.
Chang.
Drinking a couple of changs. Gonna have a chill day today, even though we kicked it off with a riot. And tomorrow I'll be going to Koh Lanta for a week, just kind of settling in to a nice little kind of hostel beach house. So I'll be the 40-year-old walking around puffing my chest, you know.
You know what, man? I'll give you credit that
Smoking
you
some
don't look
cigs?
40. So
Yeah, no. People will be like, "Well, who's this fucking like
No.
late 29-year-old?"
who's this 39? Who's this 39-year-old guy?
Yeah, who's just no, it's a there's private rooms, and so I always get a private room. But this one was I'm going there. I'm with two buddies, as you know, Kyle and Brian.
Are you not with them right now?
At Fork? Yeah, I'm with them right now at Fork. Oh, their videos are just delayed, so I'm
Right.
not even sure if I'll be in any videos.
Well,
But I'm
hey,
sure,
hey,
I don't,
the way
I'm sure I don't remember.
the videos that you sent us from the fucking moon party, I don't know if you should make it into their videos.
Guys,
Oh,
always.
yeah.
Hey, he was still fucking telling about
I
his
didn't
trip.
know.
And you're
He's
trying
on
to
a
call him
delay.
out.
I'm trying
And then I have to call a fucking Rolando Rodriguez who fucking makes a thing. Just settle it down
Yes.
there, kid.
Hey, this goes to Rolando right here. Crack him if you got.
Crack him if you got him.
Crack
Cowboys
him if
Can
you
fan, what's
got
up from South Texas? Showed up late. Cheers, crack him if you got him. That's
Crack
your
him if
boy.
you got him.
AJ, finish your thing because Ants was trying to call you out before you were done talking about. Hey, it's hold hands. Millennium Falcon.
Hey, I'm just saying, we live in CanFam, we live in a world where we don't really care about the censorship. So I have to mind my P's and Q's, but I can't help but use our language when I'm talking. So that's just how it is. Are we holding hands now?
We're all
What am I
holding
doing?
hands. I don't know
I'm
where
gonna
we're
hold
going.
both your hands. Hold on, let me go this way. There it is. There we go. Come on, AJ. Don't let me hang in.
It's like,
I
wow,
know,
these
how do I go? Which way?
Oh, I'm like in the middle between both you guys. So I'm over here between Anth and
Here,
a
I
nice
grab
little
this
Canadian sandwich over here.
There we go. I kind of look like
There
a
it
crab
is.
boy.
There we go.
Crab
Oh my
boy.
god. All right, boys.
Okay.
Krabby boy. Hey, we will be back Sunday. Adbest and I rolling it down. Will it only be 30 minutes? Will it be 5 hours? We don't know. CanFan Maniacs, love you. Boots on the ground, love you. Wade J, love you. Adbest, love you. We will be back Sunday.
That's right, boy. We know how we
Booshin'.
do. Boosting it up, baby.
Get the fuck out of here.